What is going on, Nissan Nation? From All Things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to way over on LA side of things. This is your Nissan Nation, and I am your host, David Boyd. And sorry for the technical difficulties, guys and gals. I picked the wrong time to want to try to do things. You know, it's a typical Dave thing, Danny. You know, we think we get it right, and it's taken us, what, 6 months to get this far?
Well, you know what? We've come a long ways. The fact that me chatting, we got the live stream going. That's, you know what, that's a big step for us.
It is a big step. And guys, I am super pumped, man. Be sure if you guys can hear us and see us, please let us know. But I'm super, like, all day I've just been like a little hyper kid, man. I cannot wait for this Z release. This, what they're gonna call a concept, guys. Let's not kid ourselves that this is the next Z. This is a concept vehicle, and please,
well, Dave, this is a prototype.
Well, yeah,
it's a proto Z. So I'm going to call it a prototype. A prototype and a concept are different, Dave. So I'm calling this a prototype, which pushes it down the line just a little bit. I think they purposefully said this is a prototype, meaning that this is closer than a concept, because you go from concept to prototype to production.
Right.
So let's call this the prototype Z.
Well, but I just want everybody to before this video starts, get your expectations in line that this, you know, this is not the final version. And I know Z guys in all the Z forums, man, are going to go nuts about this no matter what. And then it's going to turn into, can I LS swap this thing, and all the typical things they want to do. But anyways, I'm super pumped, man. The video, so everybody that's in here, the video that you see the screen right there, that's Nissan's broadcast of this. So you're going to hear and see it just as we will. So I'm super, Danny, God, I just can't say it enough, man. I'm super, this, other than the Frontier release, this is the biggest thing that we could do. And of course, me and you, if they would have released this in America Live, we would have been there to bring this to people. So
yeah,
it's the closest thing we can get to doing that in these silly times. So yes,
yeah, this is happening in Japan, correct?
This is happening in Japan in their new center that they built over there, where they showed Aria. They're I forget, Joe Taylor will pop in there. Kelly, thank you so much for that super chat, man. Guys,
thanks, Kelly.
Means a lot, and it'll maybe make the next stream go better. But hey,
I mean, you know what? We pulled a pretty solid audible coming in, because adding this whole like secondary live stream while still doing our live stream is a little bit more nuts and bolts to it. Dave's been working on it all day, so we're doing God's work over here.
Oh, Danny. But really though, I can't say it enough, man. I'm so pumped for this car because Nissan needs a home run so bad, like just so bad. I want to see Nissan do so well, man. And so the idea of this thing, you know, getting us all ready and excited is pretty cool in my eyes.
Yeah, for sure. You know what? There's some really big things that we've seen that we have dropped on the YouTube channel, as far as the exhaust pitch on it. You talked about that. The fact that we're probably going to be getting a manual, that's been the big thing that they've been teasing.
Yes.
You see that little cool little throwback badge right behind the rear window. Some of the lines have a lot of throwback lines to the 240, which is, so much heritage to the 240. So all these things are kind of going into it. And, what are we going to see for the number? Is this going to be a 400Z? Are they going to announce that? Are they going to announce, what kind of motor is in it? Or are they going to just tease us with general ideas of power? And it's going to be, we have no idea, because Nissan really, they're pretty good at being extremely tight-lipped about things coming up
right
to, we haven't really seen anything other than what they've been able to leak out. So
when I've always said that when Nissan wants to reveal something, they'll reveal it. And especially Nissan Japan, like I've warned you guys for over a year now when this car was going to come out. You won't see it testing around. You're not going to see it at the Nürburgring like everybody thought they were doing. Nissan Japan they don't operate that way. It's so secretive, and they're very loyal over there, and you're not going to get a sneak peek until they want you to have it.
Yeah, for sure. I will say that it straight up, like, looking at this prototype or Z Proto Digital unveil, that picture that we have loaded right there, that while we're kind of waiting on it, I totally dig the little eyes that it's got. I totally dig that LED line. It's kind of, you see it on everything now, the the halo, or whatever you want to call it, the fisheye, or the circular halo. I dig that design aspect right off the bat. I'm going to be super biased on this, and I think a lot of diehard Z guys already will be super biased. Just like, whatever they give us, we'll be happy. As long as it's decent, kind of like the super guys that got a BMW. As long as it's decent, they're happy. If this is some kind of weird Peugeot or Renault or something like that, as long as it looks good and it's fast, we'll be happy.
But the two LED lights that you're seeing there is a new design trait of Nissan. If you look at the Frontier, they're doing that now. The Titan sort of has that done now. It's very in line with what they're doing, and this will be kind of for the cars. I think this is the halo car, the flagship of where the designs are going.
Yeah, the Frontier has that same design feature, just squared off, because it's got a little bit masculine, a little bit harder features on a truck. But that's for sure. Andrew Allen says he wants 400 horsepower, and I'd be okay with that. I think that would be a rad number to hit for a sports car.
Well, I think that's already in the works, guys. I mean, it's almost a given now that the thing's going to get the red line, the 3.0 twin turbo that the Infinity's got. But what I'm hearing, my inside sources are telling me that it's going to be a slightly bigger turbos than the Infinity's getting. So I think you're going to see 420 out of this thing.
Dave, do you think this is kind of like a what is it called? A Peugeot? What? Oh, there we go. Somebody was just saying they like how you say Peugeot, and I was trying to get you to say it.
Oh man,
I got you, bro.
You did get me.
But yeah, no. So I agree. Very likely that we would see that same motor. We'll see kind of what they. I mean, it'd be. Nissan we use the same stuff across the lines of everything. To see a different motor would blow my mind. I highly doubt we're going to see more than one motor in this thing. I don't think they've done that.
Well, the only thing I will say, Danny, the only thing that would say they might do two motor options is you do like the BMW Supra now. You offer a 4-cylinder, and then you offer the 6, and you make the Nismo matter. Or the high end trim, you make that matter now, and it's not like they can't. Nissan knows how to turbo cars. Like, look at the 90s. Like, if you want a turbo other than the Supra, the turbos you want are all Nissan. They're RB turbo, straight 6s.
Yeah.
So they know how to do that. And
you know what? For the longest time, they've offered, in the Heritage, they've offered non-turbo and turbo cars all across their line. That's a pretty well staked out situation, except for once you got to the 350 and up, they stopped, giving turbo options. So seeing a non-turbo option and a turbo option, maybe that's something they bring back. I think that would be pretty rad.
I do.
If they offered a 400Z with, maybe it's got 290, 300 horsepower or something like that, with naturally aspirated. And then they have the 400 horsepower legitimate powerhouse, like you would see in the 300Z, with the twin turbo or whatever.
Right.
That would be kind of a cool throwback thing if they're going to be going with the whole, Heritage feel and trim, etc. Right. That would definitely make some sense,
guys. Right now, so I'm looking on YouTube. We are trending number 3 for this right now, and I need your help. We have 59 people in here, and I think there's only like 10 likes in this thing. Guys, this is your Nissan show. This is not some show that we cover Nissan this week and then we bash them next week. This is your Nissan show. So show us a little bit of love, and let's show these other guys, these kind of phony Nissan people, that they're only here for Z because Z will get them clicks. Like, we are here 24/7, 365. Me and Danny covered the Nissan brand. So show us some love, smash those likes, guys, and I do appreciate it. And so, Danny, what, we've seen a hints of the taillights of this thing, and they look very kind of 300Z. Do you see them kind of, do they take this and go, well, we just can't show like a 70s 280Z. We need to sort of give a little feel of everything we do. Car G, thank you so much, buddy.
Oh God, I love that guy. One of my best friends of all time. So a Nissan friend. Met him doing Nissan stuff, and he's hooking the boys up. Favorite bands of all time. I'll throw it out. Nissan. No. Favorite bands of all time. I think I'm up there with Metallica. But anyway, so one of the things that I think that this thing will have heavy 240 accents with a little bit
wait,
of
240. 240? You mean 280?
I say 240 accents.
Wait, what? You think they're going kind of 90s with this thing?
What? No, 70s, Dave.
Oh no! Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Because you were saying 300Z stuff,
yeah.
And you were saying that you saw some 300Z things that might show up in this. I think they're going to take some of those real heritage 240 things, because the 240 is the true heritage of this car, right?
Right.
I mean, it's really
I'm going to say 280, man, because like the 40 didn't last long and the 60 didn't last. I mean, they're sort of the body's sort of the same.
The 240, the 260, the 280 is the same. It's the same look with. I mean, they just started sticking bigger bumpers on them because of because the states had all kinds of weird crash laws and all kinds of stuff. But you could make a 280 look like a 240 very easily. There was a very small changes in all three of those body styles, which lends me to believe that the heritage really goes back to that, and I think that's where they're really going to pull some of those lines from. The 300 got pretty fat. I mean, it's a pretty fat vehicle. Amazing look. I love the way they look. But then you get the 350 and 370. Also, kind of they get a little hefty. Those girls are a little thicker. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like them, but there's some thick girls. Where the 240 was a very slim girl. So I'm hoping that they bring it down just a notch, to bring it a little bit more into that, because the Supra looks like a very light and nimble type of vehicle. And if the BRZ is a very light and nimble look to it. It's kind of fresh and light. So I'm hoping that they go in that direction with this.
Well, to me, of course, you have a Z, Danny. You have a 300ZX, and to me, that's my favorite Z of all times. And I may be a little ridiculous on this compared to, I know a lot of people like 280s and stuff, and I like those too, but to me, I don't know, something about the 300 was the classic. It just looked like almost a supercar before, and it was priced like a supercar back then too, really, but it was a little too expensive. But man, that to me, but I love the rear end of that car. I love the taillights, and I love the old bumper, like getting a real bumper that pops out, like it looks like a bumper. And
it wasn't just something that wrapped around the front and rear to make people happy, kind of a thing, right?
Right. But there's something about classic cars, you want to see, if it's going to be full classic, you want to see it have kind of a bumper. And of course now, like with modern cars, you really don't have, you have a piece of metal up under some plastic, but for the rear of it, they're hinted that this thing, I don't think it's going to be a metal bumper like the 280s were, but it's definitely going to have some kind of, like you said, it's a fat bottom girl, man. Fat bottom girl needs to make the world go around, and we need it.
Yeah, no, I agree. The 300 in my mind is when they really they took it from that really chunky squared off the Z31, which was really, I mean, it was basically like Kit,
Right.
And it had some cool stuff, like the car talked to you and stuff. It was just the most 80s car ever, and they took every line and they smoothed it out. And they took all the clunky bumpers off, and they made the thing a super aerodynamic looking, smooth thing.
Right.
And that's when it turned into this, very supercar feel of a vehicle.
Right.
So since then we've had the luxury of having vehicles like that, across the board through every make and whatnot.
Right.
But that's when it changed to that. So, yes, the 300 was a huge change from the old school. eh, the bumpers were so clunky on the 240 through the 280 because of bumper requirements that popped out. And they're like, well, we got to stick bumpers on these cars,
Right.
and they just totally ruined these beautiful lines that these cars had. And that's why you see so many of them just yank the bumpers off and throw a little, fill in gaps and stuff like that where bumpers usually are.
Right.
For better or for worse, as far as crash rating is concerned. But as far as the beauty of the car, that's like the first thing you do if you get a 280. You yank all the bumpers off to make it look like a 240.
Well, you're a SoCal guy, man. So there's nothing more that's SoCal than a sports car, right?
Other than a motorcycle, yeah.
Well, I mean, so SoCal Life has got to be excited by this. And what if this car had T-tops?
Oh, dude, you're making my pants tight right now. If this car has a T-tops, I'm literally driving down and trading my red truck in for it, dude. That would be the sickest thing ever, dude. I love my T-tops in my 300Z.
Right.
For those of you that are asking, yes, we are streaming the live show right underneath us, so you're not gonna miss the live show. It's right here. Yep. Dave's got his mouse flopping around on the screen, just so you guys remember. So you're not missing anything. You're getting the Nissan Nation Productions chat about Z right now, about what's going on. You know what? We do our best to bring you everything fresh, new, brand new about Z. I have a 300Z. Dave's had a 350. What else?
Infinity or G35.
Yeah, you had a G35. So
basically.
we've been in the world, and we love Nissan top to bottom.
Clearly.
Except for one or two here and there that just don't hit the mark.
CVT.
CVT, every CVT ever made. But you know what? We want to bring you all this cool live content. If you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. We have insider info. We get tons of people hooking us up with pictures.
We broke the news
whatnot.
on the Nissan Frontier way before Nissan wanted us to, and
we've been
Like, if you're new to the show, we appreciate you joining in here. And once again, like Danny said, it was when you see the screen down there, that is from Nissan, what you're seeing down there. So I want to get everybody's like excitement or disappointment all at once together. You know?
And while we're not watching the actual unveil right now, hit that like button for us. It really does a huge service to us. It gives us the opportunity to become bigger and more influential in the Nissan world. The more and I promise you want us to be influential. If you haven't seen our show before, we have the best ideas. We are the smartest Nissan guys in the world, and we tell Nissan what sucks and what's better. And one day we want them to listen to us.
That's right. Let's not go too crazy, Danny. But yes, we do appreciate all the love here. And once again, like Danny said, I know it's beating a dead horse, but if you haven't yet, let's get back on there. Like and subscribe to the channel. We do when exciting things happen in cars, like Z is the one thing. So me and some journalists were talking. It was like, oh, I see Nissan. They're live, guys. Nissan is live right now. So
ooh, it's about to pop off, boys.
I'm gonna turn me and Danny's mics down just a little bit. So
we're going to try and not to totally destroy this video for you so you guys can kind of see what's going on. If something blaring pops up, maybe we might pipe in, or if there's a boring part or something like that, we'll try and pipe in. But the idea is to be here and watch it with you. I mean, we're just Nissan enthusiasts like the rest of you.
Yep.
So.
Oh, they want it bigger, Danny. So we're gonna give them a little bigger. So I'm gonna go full screen, Dan. So you guys won't see.
They don't need to see our ugly mugs anymore.
Well, we won't go completely full screen. How about that? Here, we're gonna make it really, really large, and I'm doing this on the fly, guys. So
Dave's clicking buttons, boys.
we are guys. I'm so pumped for this, man. I'm so pumped for this. Let's see. It's
the Z Proto Digital unveil.
Nissan, you're killing us over here.
Andrew Allen dropping the hate. Full screen or I leave.
Wow, man. All right, here we go.
Dave, did you lose audio?
No, I've turned myself down a little bit, Dan.
Joe said he can't hear you.
There you go. Can you hear me now, guys? Nissan, you're
Don't
killing
do full screen.
Don't do full screen.
Everybody's fighting. No BMW Super replacement. I know. Just needs 400 horsepower and reliable. Oh, Andrew throwing down the super chats. Thank you, buddy.
Yes, thank you guys for all the super chats, man. The funds from that stuff do help greatly, more than you know.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that they're
Nissan
like,
Hawaii Nation's here.
what's up, Ronald?
Ronald, our homie, he throws down some good videos.
He does.
Check his YouTube out.
He does throw down some good videos, Ronald, and we appreciate you being on here. And once again, guys, thank you so much to all 170 of you on here. That should show Nissan, because guys, Nissan does pay attention to our show, believe it or not, and it does show that guys, you help make a difference, and you may not think you do by liking things like our show, but it really does help make a difference. And we cannot, just by showing and subscribing, like we've been told, like I've had meetings at Nissan. Danny's been with us on this. We've done 2 Titan adventure tours. I feel like we're Vietnam vets on that, but
sure.
we've done our time within Nissan brand, and they do like us over there, guys. So thank you for all the support.
Yeah, so please keep sharing this. All of you guys that are listening, please share this. Get it out to whatever clubs, forums, whatever on Facebook or whatever. I know this is probably going to be going live here very shortly at Nissan, and we'll bring it to you with the most bestest of all insights.
I love it,
ever.
man. I love it. Let's see. Right now we are trending number 2, guys, on this. So be sure to like and subscribe. That does, honest to God, it does help keep us up there. So let's see. We are competing right now against Kurt
Angle?
No, I can't remember Kurt's name. He's a good dude. He's got over 1,000 watching. That's all right. He's a huge channel, over 70,000 on his channel. We are number 2. I guess we're number 3. Over Nissan right now has 13,000 watching, and there's a few people that are streaming this that, once again, they're doing it for your clicks. They don't care about Nissan. They don't care about the Z. They're just here because they know people will click their popular little links, guys. And once again, I know we sound like just over and over and over, but we appreciate all 203 of you on here now. And
so here's a good question, Dave.
All right.
Is this going to be a Supra killer, dude? Will this be a super killer?
I do think that Nissan knows that they have to bring it. And it's the same with their trucks right now, the next Frontier that's coming. They know these, which has taken a little bit to get to this thing. This thing should have been out. I want to say they were going to reveal this car at the Detroit Auto Show. So they're taking their time. They know they need some positive press. And right now, this is the most positive press just by streaming. Everybody's streaming this thing that Nissan can get right now. So if it's not a home run, guys, lock up the doors, close the doors, lock it up. It could be bad time. Here we go.
Let's do this. It's coming to you. I don't think it's on the live stream yet, Dave. Are we getting
guys, let me know if you can hear the sound there.
So excited.
Oh, look at that rear end.
Oh, dude, I'm slower than you. This is gonna suck.
Oh, Danny.
Dave, it's slower on my. Oh, all right.
Oh my God, it's yellow. Oh,
dang, Dave, I'm like a second. I'm a second behind you.
oh.
Oh yeah.
Guys, can you hear this? By the way, can you hear this? Oh, look at that
I'm getting a
dash.
chub. I'm getting a chub.
Oh, it's all digital.
Oh, it's so good, Dave. It's so good. I'm so happy right now.
I am too. Oh my God, look at this thing.
Okay, Dave, are you getting audio on it? Because I have to turn mine all the way down, so I'm getting no audio on. So.
Oh, what's it doing?
I'm just listening to myself. Oh man, this thing is beautiful.
Look at that car.
Hmm.
That's a classic door handle.
Interior looks very cockpity, like a 300Z. Full 300Z interior.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the all the Z fans joining us live from the US, Japan, and around the world. This is an exciting announcement at Nissan because this is about the Z. The Z badge has special meaning to sports car lovers and special meaning to me because my very first car was Ferrari Z. For me, I must say, the Z was love at first sight. It looked so cool, so desirable, and when I had driven it, I felt the connection. I knew I wanted to own one. This was 1993. I finally bought a Z, a gunmetal gray with a T-bar roof, and of course, manual transmission.
Yes.
Just looking at the car was exciting for me. Every time I polished my Z, I would spend extra time admiring my favorite angle, the front 3/4. So as a Z fan, I'm delighted to unveil our Z Proto. The Z, as a pure sports car, represents the spirit of Nissan. It's a key model in our Nissan Next transformation plan, and this proof of our ability to do what others don't dare to do, from A to Z.
What a bash at BMW Toyota.
With the earlier crossover, we've started a new era of electrification and autonomous driving technology. And with the Z, we are bringing drivers the excitement of pure sports car. For Nissan,
I gotta say, I don't
the
like
Z
the big square
is our
front
DNA.
end, like the big square grille thing.
There's Z in everything we do. The Z shows our passion for emotional design and the joy of driving. It brings inspiration and excitement to everyone at Nissan. When the Ferrari Z came out in 1969,
color
it
name.
moved the international sports car world. No one had ever experienced a car like that before. The Z offered outstanding performance and stylish design that made drivers realize they have to own the Z. And most importantly, the Z was accessible. Now we are taking the Z to the next level. I'm excited to announce that the new Z is coming. It means a lot to me that Z fans around the world are watching today. The Z Proto you see here is not a concept.
Ooh.
The look of this is close to final, and the feel has been engineered for aerodynamics and body rigidity. As we bring the prototype to reality, we are going to deliver a living connection between driver and car. For us, this unique combination of look, feel, and power is the essence of the Z. The Z Proto is prelude to the new Z and true to its heritage. We hope it will appeal to our drivers who have owned generation of Z, and also a new wave of young fans who may have raced virtual Zs online.
That's awesome.
The Z has always given a tangible and exciting driving experience.
I love the
And true to that,
the
the
fair
new
lady,
Z
that
will
little sideways fair
have
lady in the back.
a twin-turbo
Classic, it's
V6
awesome.
with a 6-speed manual transmission.
6-speed. Okay, so it answers that. 6-speed.
Because we want your drive to be powerful, exciting, and engaging.
There were rumors going around it would be a 7-speed.
Our team has created an agile, muscular design that's poised and ready for action. The new Z exterior draws on the memories shaped by our dreams of tomorrow. It draws inspiration from the design of two groundbreaking models, the 240Z and 300ZX. When you get inside the Z, you will feel the connection to its rich heritage. And when you drive the Z, you will feel it moving you and Nissan into the future. For more than 50 years, we have been creating the legend of Z. I'm glad you're with us for this exciting chapter. The new Z is on its way. Thank you.
Well, there you go, guys. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. It is very reminiscent of everything. It's got a little bit of 300Z in it. It's got a lot of 280Z in it. The Grille.
Thank you, Uchida-san, and welcome to the digital unveil of the Nissan Z Proto. Broadcasting from the Nissan Pavilion, Yokohama, Japan. Hello, I'm your host, Chris Pepler. Now, we've got a lot of people around the world joining us for this from the USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, and many more. And as a car fan myself, I'm very excited, as you are, and I'm also honored to be here as MC to show you the highly anticipated Z Proto. As Uchida-san told us in his opening message, the Z Proto is a sneak peek into what's to come. In the next hour, you will hear more about this vehicle and what it means for Nissan, for fans, and the Z legacy. And we're not the only ones celebrating Z history in the making. Right now, the 33rd annual Z car convention, ZCon, is taking place in Nashville, Tennessee. And they're joining us live to share in this moment. At ZCon, we have Adam Carolla, famed radio personality who holds the world record for the most downloaded podcast, The Adam Carolla Show. And he is, without a doubt, a big Z enthusiast himself, with some very impressive vintage Z race cars. So let's check in now with ZCon to see how it's going on with fans over there. Adam, over to you.
Thank you, man with the coolest voice and better eyebrows. Wow, that car looked great, right? I'm definitely signing up for one of those bad boys. We'll see whose palm I got to grease to get one of those things in my garage. All right, so good evening once again. Thanks for joining us, and thanks again for those joining us from Yokohama. And around the world, welcome to ZCon, the International Z Car Convention. For those of you who don't know me, well, that guy said it all. I do a lot of vintage racing. I make some car-related documentaries on occasion. I am proud to say that not only do I do a lot of vintage racing, but I find these cars, oftentimes they're basket cases, do a full nut and bolt restoration on the race cars, and then we go out and hammer the crap out of those cars on the racetrack. So not only do we race them, but we put them back together. So past, present, I love the new stuff.
Guys,
I love the vintage stuff. ZCon is the largest Z car gathering in the world, and this is their 33rd year. Horns and lights, people.
ZCon is going on right now in Nashville, Tennessee. I'll be there Saturday, actually, to cover
part of that. At my funeral, I want you guys all in the procession doing this.
Love that they brought Adam Carolla on. Dude, I love that guy.
In the shadow of Nissan's North American headquarters, and there are a couple hundred Z owners here tonight, possibly thousands before the Z Car Convention week is over. And oh, we got you with the flash and the light. Give me the horns and the lights one more time. It's good for my self-esteem.
This is what Nissan needs, though. They need somebody like Adam Carolla who loves the brand, who's an underdog guy, loves the brand.
All right, let's take a quick look at some of the highlights from the ZCon 2020 this week so far.
Yeah, Adam Carolla has the old race car that 300Z race car. Yeah, from yeah.
The cars are social distancing. Guys, if you love to see, I'm going to actually cover this event Saturday, the big car show that I will be a part of in Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm going to bring you all kinds of live coverage, plus we'll do a video on it. So if you haven't yet, like and smash the like on this stream, please. It does help Once again, we are Nissan people. We're not like Motor One and all these other people who might cover the brand, either make fun of the brand or just don't really care about it, know that you'll click their links. The Nissan Nation is all things Nissan. This is all we cover in this channel is Nissan. So if you like that we're doing this live stream, and me and Danny's out in Hollywood, well, not Hollywood, LA. I'm out in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm right next to Nissan HQ. We cover the brand like no other. We get invited to a lot of brand things. So when it's not pandemic time, we do anyway. So let's get a like and subscribe. And thank you to all 441 of you that are on this live stream right now. This is the 40th anniversary of Zproto, by the way. They've been doing this thing for forever.
Keep an eye on a lot of these old cars, and it gives you an idea of design aspects that are running into this the new car. So it's cool to be able to look at some of the taillights on these and how they molded them into the car and whatnot. It helps you like pick out little things that they did in the design.
You know, I'll say the one thing on that reveal that I don't know that I like just yet was if you looked at the hatch, the rear hatch of it, it was in black to match the windshield, and it kind of pulled away from the cool yellow vibe that they had going.
Well, speaking for all of us here in the U.S. Tonight, we're honored to be joining you for several of the Z.
So many red cars at ZCon. Just like,
well,
man, I gotta get out there to that.
That's what I'm saying.
Before,
in North America,
before
the
I
Z
die.
has a strong 50-year-plus history. The original Datsun 240Z, and for us in Japan, your Fair Lady Z. The original one went on sale in it was a late '69 model year, and it went on to sale here in 1970. Since then, more than 1.3 million of these babies have been sold. 6 generations of Zs have been sold here in the United States.
Take that,
and I think
Supra.
I bought at least 27 Z cars.
BMW
Seriously,
Supra, by the
thank you for letting me be part of such a big night, and thanks to ZCon members around the world for your loyalty, enthusiasm, and for all things Z. And I'd say that even if it wasn't on the teleprompter.
Oh man, this is great. Once again, Adam Carolla is the guy they need
So
for this.
now it is my pleasure to return it back to Chris Pepler in Yokohama. Chris?
Thank you, Adam. A lot of enthusiasm.
man.
It's great to see the pride of Japanese sports car in heartland America. So we're going to kick off the talk show on the question and answer session. We've received many questions on the Z Proto from all over the world, from you, the fans. Questions about design, engineering,
This guy should be a
powertrain,
baseball
sales
announcer.
timing, availability, many questions.
ball one
And
with the Z
it's great
there.
to see. Hey, how you guys doing? So great to see so many of us, of you participating for this event. So, of course, we're not going to be able to answer all your questions, but we will do our best with the help of these two key people from the Z Proto team. Let me introduce you to Alfonso Albaisa, Senior Vice President of Global Design,
Alfonso.
and Hiroshi Tamura, Chief Product
You like
Specialist
design,
of the Z
Alfonso's
Proto.
your guy. He's pretty much in charge of all their final designs.
Fantastic.
Thank you,
It's
Chris.
a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful car.
so much.
You must be, you guys must be so proud.
Yeah.
So, Alfonso, can you show
many
us around? Tell us about the car.
Sure. I mean, right off the bat, I really want to thank the thousands of people joining us today and all the enthusiasts and love we've been feeling actually on social media up until this point. And so let me walk you around some of the big points that as a kid, that Adam mentioned 1970, I was a kid. Around 7 years old in Miami, and I saw this for the 240 for the first time, and that memory
bumper on
is
it, Dan. I like
so
that. That
still
rear
in
bumper.
me that when we had the chance to make a new one, naturally this came out. So one of the things that were so important is at a glance,
I definitely think the
we
front end
wanted this
needs just
long
a
bonnet
touch of-
and
a
this
touch of work
Z type
as far
of
as, like,
low
some
slung
arrows
cabin
tweaking to it, though.
silhouette. And one of the key points on that is that as you get up close to the car, the volumes, the hood bulge and the fender must be higher than the trailing edge of the roof line, which you see here.
with those taillights,
And
man.
as soon as with engineering and our design team, we were able to capture that, right away we started to feel that yes, we have something here. And naturally, because our engineers, even in the beginning, were telling us, giving us hints about, how this car
Is
would
that
really
carbon
run.
fiber under
We
the door?
wanted this low center of gravity. Luckily, the roof line gave us that, but then we introduced the katana sword, and also this lovely sculptural crease line that is also tapering down, which
how the door
allowed this
handles
car
blend
to
right into
feel
the
like
body,
a
too.
cat that was ready to pounce.
That's-
So we were
that's
really,
nice
really
hips.
excited about these kind of
Those
steps
wheels
that
are
we
awesome
made
as
on the
well.
design. But moving forward on the car, let's talk about some of the things that were interesting in the development process, because of course we have a love of the 240, but this is an ultra modern car with a
the
lot
yellow
of
makes it
power.
hard to
So
show
yes,
in
we were
certain
able to
angles
introduce some
to
of
show the
the,
body lines.
reintroduce some of the issues like this iconic hood bulge that's on the 240, but it has a very graceful
in a
forms
black or
around
something,
it,
that bulge would
expressing
show
the
better.
power and the silky power within. You cannot make a Z without the scooped out headlamp. And actually, we
those
thought
exposed?
about how to make the headlamp feel like tomorrow, but also invoke some memories. And what we took inspiration from the special
one thing,
version
all
that
the-
came
all
out a
the
couple of years
Photoshop
later,
stuff we did
where they
not
put a
show
clear
that
lens
properly. Like,
on the
everybody thought that was
240,
gonna be rounded,
and that
maybe,
actually in
and
the
it's very
sunlight,
angled.
the reflections that around the car broke the pure circle of the headlamp into two. And we thought, this is it. This is how we're going to do it. So we did ultra modern technology, but at the same time feeling like the 240. And to be inspired by the memories, the parting line,
I think
the
it's
hood,
bigger than the
the
FRS, though.
cheekbones, all must create the grille. The grille is not an artificial element. It's the result of things
Yeah, it
that
is carbon fiber. Look at all that
around it.
carbon.
So that's the front. Let's take a walk around to the back.
Maybe that's that
So as I
plastic
mentioned,
or
the roof
plastic
line
infused carbon that they've been
tapering
working
back,
on.
Oh, I'm
and
sure
this
car will
cut
get that.
off rear end, which is very 240. But about 31 years ago, my first trip
See
to
that roof- that
Japan,
black roof bleeding into
I
the
opened the
glass in the
studio
back? It kinda
door. I
throws me
just
off
joined
just a little
Nissan, and 300Z was a clay model in the studio. And actually, I wanted to go home and restart my life because that was so modern, I couldn't believe it. So naturally, some of these sensual, simple elements and this sense of high tech is very much 300. But in the Proto, we use the capsule element from
Look how wide that
300,
is.
but
Very
of course it's
240,
an edge-lit
SX rear end,
LED
sorta. The
to
way
give
it
you
has
this
those
again,
wide
this
hips.
sense of tomorrow. And why don't we step inside, because here is also an interesting twist.
He's very careful so the door doesn't fall off.
Zs
Look at
have
that big
been about
screen, Dan.
performance. Yes, they're beautiful, but they're wonderful things to drive. So what we did here is that we took the purposefulness of the 240 and wrapped it around the body. So when you get into the Proto, you will
steerio's great.
feel the car is part of you. All the elements are right at your eye level. So as you're driving, you can keep your eyes on the road. And we've introduced modern
Look how the air
era
vents
things.
sorta
We have a
match
full
the
digital
taillights.
meter. And of course, we have our information in the center. But everything is organized horizontally
Guys,
and has a
516 of you in
purposeful
here. This
beauty
is your
to it.
Nissan
So these
Nation.
are some of the things that we'll
Thank
have
you
much
so
more
much.
time to talk about a little later. But I cannot stop this kind of brief
no T-top
introduction
stand.
without talking about the meaning of the color. Because 240 had a yellow, my wonderful 300 had a yellow. But at the 30 years ago, the technologies with the paint really created a situation where the designers had to desaturate the yellow for the 300Z. Using modern technologies, we were able to add pearl and add these technologies of modern day and keep the yellow. So when you see this car go outside, this color comes to life in an amazing manner. So
If you can't hear me,
really
it's because
happy
I'm trying to be
walk
quiet,
around
guys.
this with you today. And I know we'll have some more time to talk in detail, but I really want to thank you for being lovers of Z and supporting us all the time. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
Guys, what do y'all think of that two-tone roof? Would you like to see that all
Chris.
one color, or would you like to see
Great
it in this-
presentation. Thank you
this
so much.
two-tone?
It is really, really beautiful.
Thank you.
Mr. Tomer, what do you think about your baby coming to life?
Yeah, actually, for this timing or this stage, I'm very happy to join for such a kind of a great time. And Z is my life or our life.
Danny, I have to say,
Nissan of the DNA.
this is a better reveal than I
So
thought it was going to
important
be.
and so
Some of the
happy.
stuff I've seen them do early.
It's an
during the
amazing looking
pandemic was
car.
horrible. This is very nice.
Let's go with our question, our Q&A session. First question will be from ZCon. Adam, I think you have the question.
Yeah, I have a question for Alfonso, who, by the way, I hung out with at Laguna Seca a couple of years ago when I brought one of Newman's GT Z cars over there. I think 86, year 86, he won the GT1 championship. So we hung out. He's all Z. So, Alfonso, my question is
Guys,
the
550
reasoning for
in this group.
designing
Thank
the
you so
Z
much.
Proto after the 240Z and the 300ZX. What was the inspiration behind that?
You know, obviously the 240 has been in our lives, you know, almost our entire lives. And so it's always been natural, but, you know, I think we've been involved with the development of many Zs, including the 350, where there was actually a proposal that was also a bit of an homage. But the timing now, I don't know, you know, that's the beauty of creating objects, that the context of today and the meaning of today really made us gravitate towards the beauty and the simplicity and the deep meaning of 240 for the company. So it was very natural, and every time we drew it in a modern context, it was very exciting for us.
Yeah,
And then
Kelly,
the
that
300,
chrome
because it
bind going
really
down the roof line is very
represented
240,
an
280.
epic break in sports cars. And of course, from my personal experience, it was
you know I love that
so
neon color.
humbling, I cannot tell you, when I saw the first clay model. So that when we had the chance to do this, Satoru Tai, who's the executive design director, and myself with
When
our
do
global
they
teams,
bash
we're
Toyota a
really
little
wanting
bit
to see
and
if
be like,
we
"Look, we
can
designed this.
capture
What did you
tomorrow,
guys do?"
but also trigger memories for all the people who love Z. So that's a bit the beginning, Adam. Thank you for that question.
Adam, does that answer your question?
Remember, guys, this is live from Nashville, Tennessee to Japan, so there will be a
It
slight
certainly
delay between
does,
them.
and I have one more for Tamura-san, if that's okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Can you share why it was important for you and the development team to ensure this Z had a manual transmission
right here,
when
guys.
other OEMs have left it out?
Oh, it's a tough question, but just my blood says it's must have a manual. You know, the sports car driver loves manual transmission. And, you know, manual transmission of changing the gear synchronized to the car.
There it is.
My
Yep.
body is contact or connect to the car. My partner. That is very important for key elements of sports car. Then now, our Nissan also need to change the gear in the future.
There it is. My
I think.
body contact connect to the
And the delay goes to.
So you're basically saying getting back to what it's all about, driving a sports car,
Right.
being part of the whole experience, being part
Right,
of
right,
it.
right, right.
Right, yeah.
In the studio, I can say that Tamura-san's very animated, talking about the dance partner, and that the manual really is
Irvin,
a
I
way
agree. It's very
to
S13,
connect the
S14,
machine
the rear.
to you, as he mentioned. And I think that really affected us in even shaping the interior design and making sure we take things away and sleek things out.
Michael
So
Johnson,
that
this is
experience
it
of
is live,
driving
but
can be in the car.
But if I
There's
may
been
be
a lot
bold,
worse live
if I may be
reveals,
so
trust me.
bold,
I've had to sit
it
through
is a
some.
bold move in 2020 to actually bring in a manual transmission, a 6-speed. Yeah, that's quite.
thank you,
That's
H.
really
or
getting back to the roots of things.
HK for joining us.
I think there's a few thousand people there that maybe
Right,
There will be an auto.
want it.
right. What do you think? What do you think, Adam?
Listen, first off, I have not driven in a manual shift street car for a while, and I drove here. All my race cars are manual shift, but I drove a 370Z here, and I was a passenger in the car, and it was so much more visceral an experience. I think everyone thinks about driving the stick and, you know, rev matching and all that kind of stuff. Be a passenger when someone is really driving a stick, a manual stick properly. It's a completely different experience to be a passenger in that car. So, yeah, I'm old school. All my race cars are 5 speeds, some 4 speeds, and I love it.
Right, fantastic. Okay, let's go on to the next question. We have a question from John, and we're having a little problem with connecting. So I'm going to basically read his question. John wants to know, you can see the evolution of Z cars over the past half a century. What makes this car stand out from previous models? Both of you? Who do you want
to go?
Yeah, actually, for the Z, is like our DNA. So let's say somebody S30 or 300ZX of D30 is one of the motif, but the more, you know, Z is the life. And actually for our lineup of the Z is eternity theme of the chase something. Like a life is short, but how to make your some emotional life. Z is one of the solution. It's a partner. That, you know, sometimes a sports car has chase the time, like 0 to 60, something.
Remember, guys,
attack.
These are designers
okay.
too, so they're
One the
going to
other,
talk about it as a
entertainment.
piece of art. So,
But you know, Z is a more deep inside of the some life of the focus point. Then Nissan wants to show you about the Z for more connection for you.
Right. You want to add to that, Alfonso?
Sure. I think that I think fundamentally, when you think of being inspired by a 240 and a 300, is already a bit of a departure within the generations. So I think, and I hope everyone sees at a glance that you feel that obviously the silhouette and many elements are a nod to 240. But at the same time, it has the power and
The people in the
performance and
background.
many aspects
dude's garage back there. That's awesome,
of tomorrow.
man.
So I think that, in essence, will stand out
They
and,
haven't
and
mentioned
really
anything
help
about engine or
complement
horsepower just
the
yet.
portfolio, the
And
family
then they're being very sneaky about just calling
of
it Z.
Z cars. So
For those that are
that
curious.
that was our motivation.
Right, I see. Okay. Yeah, it's again, it's I guess it's more than just, you know, going fast. It's part of your lifestyle. It's something that I guess I wouldn't call it a friend, but yeah, a friend, somebody a partner in your life, somebody. It's almost a person, almost.
I think at the end of the day, a sports car is probably not a necessary object for everyday life. So fundamentally, people buy because they love and they're so close to this experience that it
Alfonso
already
always
sets
dresses
the tone and the
He's a pimp
mood
with his suits, man.
much more amorous,
Right.
if I could use that word. And
Exactly, Gerald.
So
Made in Japan.
everyone who
not in
joins
Austria.
Nissan wants to design a GTR and a Z car, and
Right. Yeah.
that's how it is here
Absolutely.
in this family. That's how it is.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go on to our next question. Our question is from Enver. Is Enver going to be? Is he going to be able to come online, or should I read his question? Okay, I'm going to read his question. All right. Okay, please show me the question. Okay, the 240Z
questionnaire
had a
here is
light
working
and
out great,
agile
Danny.
driver's platform. What was the design brief for the Z Proto, and have you achieved the design brief? Alfonso, you want to take that?
Yeah, of course, the 240 is a different context. Except if you think about the cars relative to the 240 at that era, it was very modern. We of course think about it now as a homage car, but So it was breaking all the grounds. It was super lightweight, as the question asks. And when we started hearing from our engineers some of the characteristics that they are dreaming about, it's not exactly 240, but with the twin turbo, that's a different type of power. And then we knew that, and we knew that some of the dynamics. So naturally, our designers start to play with center of gravity. We wanted to lower it. We wanted a very wide stance to reflect
Guys, if you will smash that
how the
like
car
button
is
for
going
us.
to
Keep
behave.
us trending at number
Right.
2
So
right
I
now,
wouldn't
other
say
than
is that the
Nissan.
performance aspects are exactly in the brief to be a 240, because it's a super modern experience when folks get in, and it's going to be thrilling. I can't.
But thank you for
Did I say too much?
acknowledging. Yeah, acknowledge about for 240Z is nice elements. But I think about for all of the contents, which, not only 240Z. By the way, I had a 240Z G over fender or a nice long nose. That
I
is
like,
so
Danny, that it's
exciting design.
designed by
for
the Japanese. I know
300
Alfonso
ZX
is the head
or
of their
even
design team.
The current
Clearly,
model
this
of
car is a passion of,
34,
and it's the
the
heritage
shape
of
silhouette,
Nissan.
all of the elements,
their
all
fan
of the
base and
DNA
designers.
we install. That's, I believe, about for
Yeah,
don't think
I
about
agree.
only
And
240Z.
I mean, they kind of showed too that they're,
all of the babies
they're
are
diehard
Nissan's
Nissan guys.
DNA.
When he came
All
out,
of
he
them.
pictures
All
of
right.
himself with his
And,
300Z back in the day.
this
That's pretty
baby
cool.
encompasses all the
that-
predecessors.
That's
Right.
the kind of person that's designing
Especially
it,
because we're drawing more on
that's a good
memory
thing
than
as far
specifics.
As, what it is and what it
So
looks like.
when you think about a memory, there's always a kind of, depending on our age, I guess, there's certain details are lost, and it helps us as designers, because if you specifically want us to touch designs from generations, it can become a bit of a mix of things.
Right.
But the team was really inspired by this idea that just think about feelings and things, iconography of the eras and stuff like that, and then bring it. And that allowed us to think about the feeling. The first time I saw the 350 on the road, we designed it as clay, but when you see it real,
Right.
it's different.
Right, absolutely.
And,
Guys, you are crushing
and that
some
sense
of
of
the other
low
streams out
center
there
of
by watching ours.
gravity,
Thank
and
you
that
so much for
everything
that.
centered,
There's been some of the
and
bigger
the
guys
balance
that
of tires, and
had more
so there's even a little bit of
people
that.
watching,
Right.
It's
and
not
now they're down to
specific,
like
but
50.
it's in
and
there.
you guys, the
Right.
Nissan Nation,
But you
are holding
really,
strong,
really
man.
did
Thank
have
you
a
so
very
much
rich
for all
palette
the
to
love.
work from.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely. Right. Okay, I think we're back online. Let's get
If
back
you're just
to our
tuning in,
group
we
of
have
Z
not
fans.
had any specs in the
this
car
question
other than
comes
a
from
bunch of
Adam.
talk basically
Adam,
about
are you
the
there?
design nature and where they
Yes, I'm here.
come from.
Okay.
Thank you for
Yeah.
having me.
Oh, he looks nervous.
Howdy. My question stems from the design and development portion. I'm hoping that you can share with me one of your most interesting stories you had during the design of this vehicle, because it is truly a beautiful piece of art. Thank you.
Okay. You want to take that, Alfonso, again?
Sure. I mean, there's a few, to be honest. And Tamura-san mentioned the G, the one that he had, but we have the Zama collection of cars, which we have so many great cars there, and we were bringing some of those in, and when we brought the G in, that was one of the breakthrough moments, because that
Would've been
covered
great if it had
lens
the mirrors on the hood
over
like the
and
old-
that longer
old Gs.
nose really made us feel like, we could probably push this thing a little bit and get that sharp nose and this sense of the continuity of the body and the hood to the front. And
I
so
was
this was
told
a
the hood opens
true
up normal,
story, a
but I
breakthrough
really
for
wish
us
they would've been a
conceptually.
flip-up backwards
And
hood,
also when we started talking about the edge lighting and how do we think about
it's got to get some
the
fog
feeling we
lights in
had
there
when we
somehow.
saw that beautiful,
so that front end's gonna change
polished,
slightly.
simple 300Z that looked more like a Riverstone, so wonderful.
But guys, keep in mind too
and
that
how can we
the
bring
Nissan
some of that
Aria debuted
sensuality
in Chicago,
and
I believe it was,
performance
or Japan
into-
last year.
to the Z, which
the
Tamura-san
Nissan
had
Aria
been
did
really
not
talking
change
about
much
from
from
day one.
concept to production.
That he wanted
very,
to
very slight
express
changes.
a greater
so
sense of
keep
sensuality
that in mind
in the
with
Z,
this. There will be a
even
couple
though
changes,
the power
but this is looking great so far.
was going to be, impressive.
he's
So
mentioned
these are
And they
all
also- they
maybe
also
not
mentioned
answering
that-
specifically,
yeah, that
but
it's
even
gonna be, this is
the katana sword
production.
was, I feel this was one of those things that the day before it wasn't there and we were happy. And when a designer put that on, and was holy, hold on, what is that?
Cameron, I don't know,
because
man.
what it did
Turbo
to the
370
car
is awesome, but
was impressive. Really settled the rear
this
down.
is pretty wicked, man. If you want the latest and
really
greatest.
celebrated the beautiful silhouette, and things were becoming complete.
Right.
So I'm really hoping I answered.
Sorry, guys, if my
your
view
question.
is
You
in
just
the way.
mentioned
I
katana.
keep trying to move
was,
a little bit.
Was
with
the
screens,
katana
so
actually a
it's not in
motif
everybody's
that
way.
you guys kind of had in mind, or did it just kind of
Once again, I move.
They
out
have
of
Japanese mind sometimes. You know,
That's true.
the Z is the main region. Actually, we know that for the States, for the USA is major 1.3 million. Actually, we sold out 1.8 million for global.
Right.
But the USA market
The
is,
biggest.
yeah, our
Right.
main customers.
Right.
I don't want to say the other customer is not so important, but important region is sometimes USA market, and sometimes our DNA of Japanese root. That's we need to install. That's the origin of the Zenith or something like that. Of katana is
See,
one
the
of
side
the
there,
motifs.
Danny, looks
It's
great.
not-
That grill looks
They're not
great.
thinking about for some weapon
that-
or
when
something.
that front view-
More beauty.
And I think that black, they'll
or
change some of
some
that. They'll make it look a little
elegant. Or this kind
Once again,
of,
I think they'll
how can I
add
say,
fog lights,
design
obviously, to the
element
front of
is
this
so
car.
important,
So there'll be a
and root
little bit of
came
changes.
from
It'll break
Japan.
up some of that grill as well.
But then it also serves a purpose rather than just actually being something pretty to look at. It definitely does have a role to play in the design, a very strong role.
Yeah, for us, it was one of those
I think
things
they
that
need
we
some
didn't.
ducting on that front grille
You know, the
next
design
to the
process,
sides to break
as
up
you
that
know,
kind of
is
just
maybe
bland
very
look.
stressful for Tamura-san, who's responsible for everything, because a designer will have an idea that didn't exist the day before, and I completely agree with Tamura-san. We are a completely international car company. We have
No way.
8 studios
Get out
all
here.
around the world. Everyone was having a good time with this project. But one of the defining aspects of our internationalism is that, you know, we were born here, and there are some gestures and some movements that define our designs. And it's sometimes a celebration of an element that's Japanese or
Guys, once again,
international or
smash that like
European.
button
But
if you,
this is the
you
beauty
love
of
the Nissan
working
content brought to you by
on
Nissan
projects
people, not,
with
not
our company
other
is
companies that
we
just
have a lot of
claim to be-
voices, and the
for
inspiration
your click claim to be
completely
Nissan. We are all
spirals,
about
and
Nissan.
we're feeding off each other.
Right.
So some of these things, like the katana, really, for me, it helped so much, the design, because it, again, lowered center of gravity,
Using the new
also
logo
plays
there.
against this character line, which is an anti-wedge character line, which didn't exist on any Z, but somehow feels very natural. So these things, you know, they're quite organic.
Right, yeah, okay. Well, I think that answered your question, Adam. Now let's go to Lourdes. Lourdes, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Good
Okay.
morning.
Hi, Lourdes.
Good morning.
Hi. My question is, how does Nissan find the balance between the well-known heritage of the Z and the innovation that must expressed within this new generation?
Oh, good question. Yeah, actually, for homage, it sometimes looks like an
Do
old-fashioned.
you feel like the car's sitting
But
too
you know,
level,
for
Danny?
it's not old.
I mean, obviously it's a
like
prototype.
newest.
No,
And
I love
something
how
like
it
a
sits.
long
It's
while
kinda
of the
like
your
a race car.
memory is
Yeah.
warmless or hard for something to install. And of course, technology must have the newness.
You know what kills this?
Some great, some
Everybody
powerful
wanted to know what they were going to
performance
call this thing.
or
And
handling,
when they called it Z
agile,
Proto,
all of
like I
the
knew they weren't going to get their that
sports
question
car
answered
must
tonight.
have,
So
or
that's
Z
going to be one that
also
drives the
must have.
fanboys crazy,
That's
guys.
paradox,
and
but something like a homage, which came from our root or
you know, like you knew
heritage
they weren't going to tell
into
any
the cover
horsepower or
for
anything
new
right
technology,
now. But,
or underneath
I love that
is
it's kind
our
of driving
technology.
everybody crazy. Like, what is it?
That
What's
is
it
very
called?
important. Even Nissan Dna. All of our products is install such a kind of DNA or technology or philosophy.
You know, as designers, of course, we're not pure artists in a sense, but there are some aspects of the life that we have. The value that we bring to a company is that some of the feelings we have about the context of our company and society. we allow those to spill out in our drawings and in our work. And I think that something Uchida-san had been saying so strongly is he really wants Nissan to find its greater purpose, or meaning. And this kind of discussion is happening as we're designing a Z. And of course, a greater purpose is not relative to time. But sometimes, when you're thinking about it, there is a little bit about that, about where we have been and where are our dreams. So the question is a great one. The answer is that it was quite natural. It has to do with the context of our company and the dreams of tomorrow and the
Guys, if you want
feelings
some
that we
high-end
had.
pictures of this thing, go over to
And to express
nissannews.com.
The innovation.
They have
the
a
Z
bunch
was
of
a
pictures of
monstrous
it
innovation.
up right now.
If you think about 1969, and forget about 1969 is launch. Let's think about when the designers and engineers were creating the Z, which was 2 or 3 years before. That to have an authentic sports car, you really had to get the European car, and they were expensive. And this is not part of Japanese society. And so the 240 was beautiful and it drove great, but it can be in the driveway of almost everyone. And there's nothing more innovative than this kind of cultural revolution that I believe strongly that the Z was one of the pioneers to bring authentic sports driving to everyone. So I think that's some of it. And of course, our engineers are tireless, so they were bringing innovation all over the place. So.
Actually, this project started from 2017 March. I believe I asked him, Alonso-san, please make for us for such a kind of some indication, hint for the sports car, which means, of course, next Z. And he said, of course, why not? To be honest, many arguments would happen sometimes. But we did that because Nissan Dna says we must do for the audience, for the customers.
And I think he is being a little bit not descriptive. I hear a knock on my door, the door opens just a little bit, his smiling face, Anto, can I bother you? And he tells this thing, and I was like a bit shocked. But of course, oh my God, this is a dream come true for anyone.
Grille to break it up.
So yeah, we jumped right away and we sent the program globally. And we started receiving all these ideas and we started mapping out, okay, where should we go with this?
Yeah, it's great to hear how, really established men, professionals could turn them back into little boys, to create something that's really fun. And I get that enthusiasm, the adrenaline.
Only his head was visible. The body was behind the door. It was like, I'll never forget it.
Get inside that car a little bit more and just show us.
All right, Lords, I hope that answers your question.
Dash,
now we have Chris,
awesome,
Carl at ZCon. Chris?
Analog gauges.
Are you there? Okay, Adam.
Yeah, the dash looked really good to me.
Good evening.
A couple of Z's in there. Really looked
Hello,
nice and functional, very
Tamura-san, Alfonso out there.
Really
Good to see you guys again.
Right.
How are you guys doing out here tonight at ZCon 2020 out in the field?
Overdoing it with the
Mr. Carl, who is he runs ZCon.
Adam,
it's a bit of a character.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh,
it's a fun time.
I would have been here anyway. I didn't even know this thing was going on. I'm just like hanging out in fields with Z's.
Absolutely. And if I could, I think I have a question for the guys over there in Japan. Alfonso, I don't know if you know this, but I bumped into Tamura-san more than once. So this question is aimed more for you. The Z-Car community out here, all these great people that are honking and flashing their lights and enjoying the ZCon week, have been anticipating a beautiful new Z-Car for quite some time. There's a huge appetite for it. And I'm going to ask for your opinion. What do you think, out of everything that you've done with Proto Z, what are the elements of this new Z that you believe will most excite those enthusiasts out here enjoying this launch event and will enjoy the new car?
Oh, thanks for the question. And yeah, vicariously. You want to jump in, sir?
Yeah, sorry. Carl-san, Chris-san, can you hear me or can you see my face? Yeah, long time to not see you. It's a honor to for the Christianity from you. And
Lost in translation here.
I think about Christian is the head of the Owners Club, by the way. And to be honest, we talk with him or his society.
Wait till you guys don't hear it,
we
but
can
they
make
dropped GTR off for 2 years.
Of course,
I'm going to break that little bit of news for you guys that GTR goes away when this car launches next year.
More
GTR goes
future,
away.
some excitement.
So be ready for that
how Nissan to survive for such a kind of difficult work. And simple. Show me about
because
you.
your man right there is the next designer of the GTR.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Then I started to jump in the Alfonso's office.
Scotty can
and
kiss my
Alfonso
ass.
said,
That's what I
just
think
say
of
yes.
anything Scotty says.
And now here it is, the elements. Oh, sorry, not completed about for designs.
Again, he's simplifying. Again, knock, knock, knock. Head comes. This time the hand came out, and he like this. I thought it was for money, but actually he was asking for drawings, Chris. So yes, I was aware, and he was very helpful, at least to get a sense from the Z community of some of the early thoughts, and I think we've reacted and also evolved many elements. So I think to your direct question, I think people will find it arresting the first glance of the car, because even myself, when I see it driving, because I have been seeing it as a clay model,
I believe
which
that
doesn't
that
move
grill will be
at
tamed
all,
down slightly.
and to see it moving, and then to see our dream of triggering memories actually happen. It's a
Guys,
bit,
you haven't
it's
yet,
super
smash that
humbling,
like
first
and
of all.
subscribe button.
But it's
We
even
plan to bring
shocking
you
for
more
people
Z news as soon as
who
it breaks,
had their
as
hands
well as
all
we
over
cover
it.
all things Nissan.
And I think that's probably why we are always going to be
unlike some of
creating
those
cars,
other guys, those three-letter guys out there that just cover the brand and kind of crap on it. We actually love the brand,
proportion
and
and
we'll bring you
silhouette
honest opinions of our views of
will
these cars.
people will react differently, but they will react.
So when you came up with the clay model, it was like epiphany. It was just like, boom, this is it. Did you guys all like, man, this is the design?
Yeah, to be honest,
more
the
car
first
stuff.
time I saw data,
We need some real car stuff.
because in our company
shots of it driving
we're blessed
on a track.
with all of the modern technologies.
I
In my
agree.
office, I have
There's some
full
pictures,
VR,
Danny. I just
and I
posted
don't
on our
even need to
Instagram
get up
page, Nissan
anymore.
Nation
That's why there's some
Productions, all
weight
one
gain.
word. I just posted
We
all did.
some nice pictures of this
I put the
car on a
goggles
track.
on, and with Tyson, and we saw this car, the rear fender. I think when people see it in person, this beautiful stance, so this sensual muscularity was so visible, and I think that these are the things that people will react as we reacted when the first time we saw data. And then when you see clay model, you then start enhancing and make it a little more. He's a little more. His nickname is a little more. Because a little more fender, a little more this, and
Moskoshi.
More.
And very a great experience.
Danny,
So I think
what do you
that
think
this
about
is
the
some of
size of
things
those
that you
brakes?
like.
Okay, well, thank you very
Those
much.
are monster brakes
we
on
have
this
another question from our
Those
online
look like they're going to be
viewer.
stopping
I guess
something,
we're having,
which means that maybe it
I
has
guess
enough power to
again,
go
we can't
really
connect.
fast.
Yep.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so I should
The
read this question.
4-caliber brakes there, it looks
Okay,
like.
this is a question
four-piston
from
brakes.
Lib.
Maybe off of a
Why do you
GTR?
think the Z is such
Yeah,
a
those look like
sports car
GTR-sized brakes.
icon?
Yeah, actually, we didn't make icon. You made it. So this customer, our Z drivers, all this kind of energy made an icon. That's very important for our energy. So Nissan basically is made by customers' energy.
Is it just me, or is that
That's
front
why icon,
grill
thank you
a
for
giant
acknowledge
spot for
me.
an intercooler,
But you made it.
like the same size?
You need a big cooling
the
area
emotional
for some
aspect,
turbos.
are we talking
Yeah.
about some feedback?
Yeah, of course, many feedback or many, how can I say, pressure came from. But this pressure is so nice energy for even
Guys,
for
we
me
are
or
keeping
for
up
team.
with channels with
Everybody
100,000 subs.
Is enjoying
You guys
about
must love
for this
your Nissans,
pressure.
man. So thank you,
Nice
everybody that's
pressure.
stuck in here with us.
Because our audience or our customer is so lovely Nissan lovers. So I'm very happy to get this kind of pressure.
And I think at the end of the day, it's undeniable that because of 6 generations and 50 years, and these cars have gone to every corner of the world. They're down New Zealand,
Danny, would you rally
Australia,
race one
up
of these?
England, and
You know, the
all
old
around
280s used to rally
the
race
world,
some.
South Asia. They're everywhere.
I'll take my big beefy
I
desert
think it's
truck,
because of the
but
mix
I'm more than
of
happy
this
to take this on a road
iconography
course.
of Z, which was a
All right,
car
Nissan, you heard that. Danny
everyone
said
can
nothing
enjoy and
off-road,
be
but he'll
impressed.
go on-road.
So as a result, many people enjoyed the experience, and it's a
Sir William, they have
blend
not
of
announced anything
this
about the motor
performance,
in this car,
this
and
arresting beauty.
I'm not expecting them to, honestly.
So I think
if we
it's the
haven't got there yet.
combination, and this is something that we always discuss, especially because we
I've
have
got
a
nothing
GTR
on the
in our
press side
family.
of things that
So there is
what
a
they plan on
difference.
doing with that. So.
Almost to the point of cultural difference.
And these
in
kind
our
of
culture
reveals, they usually
between
show
a
you what the
GTR
design
and
is.
a
They
Z,
want the
and
feedback initially of what
we share
and
this.
a lot of
We
people
talk
seem to
about
like this
this
car.
because when
They,
we start a
they
new
want
one,
the-
you
they
need
want the
to make sure
feedback
that
to see if
you
they need to
inform your
adjust
intuition
just where
as
this
you
car
leap
needs to be.
forward. So this stuff
And
is-
then they'll in a couple months
great.
you'll see something pop out about the engine and performance.
Okay. Lib, I hope that answered your question. Do we have another question from our viewers? Okay, we have our last question now.
Love his
and
goatee,
this
man. Look
is,
at that line down the middle, Danny.
Okay, this is
It's a racing stripe if I've ever seen one, right?
Okay, let me read the question. With it being so long between Z models, how important is it to Nissan that you engage the Z enthusiasts? That's an unannounced question out of nowhere.
Right.
Want to take that, Tamino-san?
Yeah, actually, it's one of the reminder.
Thank
But,
you, Dorian, for that $5. How
said-
much will it cost?
Or
They've
we
not
said
announced pricing on this
the
car just
conceptual
yet, but
point
I'm going to say
Zenith
38
or
base
Zenith
38,000 on up.
for the enthusiast. So this
But
kind
thank
of
you so much for that super chat. As
fundamental
soon as we find out
access from
any
us,
information on pricing, we will be sure
some
to let you know.
Nissan wants to show about for our philosophy. We have some
And
area,
I
but
almost
even
expect
we
them to
have
release
the-
2 motor options.
These kind of
They haven't
Yeah.
announced it yet,
That
you know,
is a
anything
for,
motor-wise, but
important
I
point
think
for the
you get a
access
4-cylinder
for
and a
approaching
6-cylinder in this
from
Zeeb,
Nissan.
Danny.
I think.
I think that
No?
people should not underestimate social media.
If anything, I think you'll get
to design a
natural
car in
aspirated,
this
like,
era
3-point
is
Guys, thank you
wonderful. We have a
Once
lot
again,
of
thank
technology,
you for
so when
everybody
we
that's
make a
done the
car,
super chats for us.
we
That
are
greatly helps me and Danny
lifted
travel
by
to these events
technology,
when
but also the voices
the proper
that
time
reach us.
allows us to travel
Where
again.
maybe 20 years
So,
ago,
if you like
you
Nissan
you
and like
were
coverage, thank you
designing
so
in
much for your
isolation, or you
donations.
did some product planning, does a survey, but we are getting information all the time. And especially with the Z, the Z enthusiasts are constantly feeding us with information, opinions, some criticisms.
ATX Trent, I
and,
can see them doing the 2.0
and it
from
helps
the
us
Yeah.
because, you
250.
know, I'd like to paint a picture of what our life is like. So Design Center is around 500 people. And right next to us, there's a big building, 9 floors high, full of engineers. And there's a bridge connecting us. And all day long, teams of engineers are coming into Design Center. And we're talking about everything. So when you see A to Z, in our company,
Will you be
that
able to do
means
Mustang
we
things
are
in
all
this car?
doing.
Dorian
So every
writes.
engineer
Danny, will he
and
be
the
able to do Mustang
philosophies
things
of
in this
the
car?
engineers for Aria
Crowd control or what? What are we talking about?
are in Z.
Yeah, hopefully if
There
you get
is
this
not
car, you
the
don't do Mustang
separation.
things
This is a
into
culture
crowds,
of creativity
but,
and
burnouts,
innovation.
definitely.
So naturally, it's a DNA of our company. So
This is let's say, super diversified. And you know, culture meaning sometimes it's nation, but the other hand to say for R&D or a designer or product planning, also we have each own cultures.
Right.
But among them, and make of
See the tail of the 280 there
nice
behind
meals.
him, Danny, the orange one?
And that is
Very in
not
line
nice
with that
meal,
car.
The best of the best.
Except for it's got those
product.
taillights of
is
that
the,
300
for
a little
example,
bit.
Z.
Right.
Yeah, there's definitely some good
But
throwback.
can you say
into
that
it.
this is a question
It's
for me?
very kinda subtle and
Because of
simple, but
social
I like
media,
it.
this is maybe a car that incorporated a lot of the feedback from the fans, from the Z fans. Do you think that's the right assessment?
Well, I think it confirmed.
Danny, I had the super chat picture
Because obviously,
hidden.
social media didn't know we were starting when
Right.
we were starting.
Yeah.
But I think it was almost
Mike,
to a bizarre
Nation,
level.
these questions are
Right.
very
Because
filtered.
we're-
Trust
really
me,
the
to
Z
get,
enthusiasts are of
they screen
every
everybody.
age, every
Thousands of people try
generation.
to get on this.
And you
They
have some
skim it down to
kids
50, and they have to
who were
pre-ask the
born
questions, which is
way
why this guy knew
after,
what he
you
was
know, the
asking before he
240.
asked it.
Right. Yeah.
who are speaking about the 240 suddenly as if
GS,
it's
I do look for this car to be
their
out the
absolute,
fall of next
I
year.
must have
yes.
this car. I love this car.
Yeah.
And
Ohio
I don't
Georgian,
think 20
what-
years
they
ago
hinted
that was
at some
necessarily
hybrid there, Danny. I don't know if
exactly
you,
the case.
if
It
you
was
caught that at
always
the
some of that.
beginning.
Right. Yeah.
But,
They,
and
they
this kind
hinted of some hybrid.
It made us more
you know,
buoyant.
their
It filled us with
hybrid
oxygen because,
tech.
yes, so
Let me
some
turn
of the
this down just a
feelings
little
that
bit.
we are having, these are echoed.
Danny, do you
and it
could
doesn't
you
matter the
see
age
like
of
a
the
four-cylinder with the hybrid
People love the Z. And
being the
and
top
Here's
end
the
car?
latest evolution. We're kind of running out
Possibly
of time.
they could have
I'd
a
like to ask
four-cylinder
some
with a
more,
with a big
questions, but,
big juicy
thanks
electric
to all the
engine
people
kind
that
of
participated in
you know
this event.
they could get to 300 horse
Thanks for the amazing
350
questions. And thank you,
no
Alfonso,
problem
and
with
thank
that
you to
combo.
Nissan, for your
I wouldn't put it
insights,
past
to
them
the
since they're pushing
Nissan,
everything into electric stuff these
Z
days.
Proto.
So
And
we'll
this
kind of
wraps
see how
up
that
our
is.
Z
But, I
Proto
mean,
Digital unveil.
I don't think it's very
we hope you
probable.
had a great time as much
This
as we
is-
had.
you know, I think
From
they
all of
really
us
want to
here
stick
in
with
Yokohama.
sports
Thank
car
you to
feel.
the fans at
Yeah.
ZCon and around
Let's
the
listen to their
world
final
for
words
joining
here.
with us. Thank you very much. For more details on the car in the coming months, please visit the NissanNext.com.
Guys,
Let's
hang
keep
out
the
with us for a
legacy
minute.
of
We'll
Z
all
alive.
discuss this together.
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you again. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. So we'll let this fade out, and I will minimize this screen, and we will bring me and Danny here. Let Danny. I'm gonna talk just for a minute, Danny. I'm gonna edit us just up just a little bit, so let everybody get a feel for me and Danny here.
Absolutely, gosh, that is a. I don't know. Personally, I love the look of the car. Back design features to it. I think we talked about it a bunch right off the bat. The front grille. I heard a lot of people commenting while we were going through there that the front grille looks a little weird, a little clunky. It's big and square and rectangle where the grille portion is, and then on the sides, I don't think it has quite enough kind of aero features in that bumper, which I think that they could probably fix that fairly easily.
Yes,
to
I
make
agree.
it look a lot better. So hopefully that's something that they'll fix. Maybe they'll take some feedback from whether it's live chats, social media, post on Nissan's page and say the car looks amazing. Just fix up that front grille.
Yes. And while hey Danny, while we
ahead.
have a lot of people still on here, guys, Nissan, I've interviewed them. They've told us in person, guys, they love criticism, but be constructive about it. Just don't go like some of the comments I've seen in here of the BMW super guys of just like, it's a pile of crap. That's not constructive criticism. They cannot take, and they, trust me, they're in here now. They cannot take any of your chats and they screen capture everything. Trust me, they screen capture everything.
Yep.
They cannot take that to their higher ups and say, this is what the people want. That's just not, unfortunately, that's not how it works. And thank you to all those that are subscribing here tonight. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But-
Julian GM said, "Is it just me or did a lot of those questions seem like lobs?" Yeah, those were softballs. They're not going to have anybody on there that says, "Hey, what's the horsepower in this thing?"
Yeah.
And then they're going to be stuck in a live stream without and say, "Ha ha ha, we can't tell you yet."
Right.
So those were, and really, this was them debuting the design of the new Z. They're not ready to release specs or motor options or any of that stuff.
Right.
That's why it's a Proto Z. It's not a concept Z, so it's very close, but it's still a prototype phase to where they're still working out kinks. I'm sure they're still, trying to figure out how much horsepower they're going to be able to put into it. I will say this: the size of those brakes was very heartwarming because
Yes.
I want to say
you're a
Z1.
racer.
Yeah, Z1. I want to say Z1 saw a picture of them and said that those are in fact like GTR brakes.
Yes.
So that's a good sign. Having amazing braking really awesome. I mean, if you have that amount of braking, in my opinion, it means you're going to be going real fast, real quick. So hopefully that's a good sign.
Guys, and just to let you know, you're seeing all of our numbers there, but just to let you know, this is a picture of the Nissan Frontier concept, the Nismo concept, and I want those that are new to us. This is the kind of news we break here. So, and this went everywhere. So, unfortunately, the Z is harder to get because of being in Japan, but me and Danny are very connected. So, thank you for all the support. It does mean a lot. Sorry, Danny, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I wanted those that were here to know.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Another, obviously a big takeaway. We kind of reported this earlier when they first started dropping some of those videos when they showed that it had a manual transmission. That was a big thing that they talked about. Obviously, a manual transmission, you don't see it in the Infinity.
Nope.
Am I right in saying?
Danny,
Yeah,
I've rode in a manual in that 3-liter twin turbo. Z1 built one, and dude.
Oh, that's right. They had their own little thing. That thing is a
if you watch
screamer.
any of our videos, the first car you see is that manual transmission in our intro. Yep, with a twin turbo. And guys, that thing is so torquey in a manual. Go ahead, Danny. I keep interrupting you, dude. I'm so excited.
No, it's fine. But having a manual, I mean, it's something that you hate to see go away in a sports car as that's like saying, a Mustang doesn't have a manual. It's a very visceral experience, and I think you got that from them when they were explaining it. They said, we want to have this as a route vehicle, as a vehicle that you get in and you have a partnership with, and to have a manual and have that partnership and be able to really slam gears, row through them, and hopefully have a bunch of power to row through, and then brake hard. Those are basic aspects that need to be in this car, and I'm really happy that they reinforce that, and I hope that all translates into the rest of the design of the car and stuff.
Hey, Danny, we take a couple more comments or questions, and I'm going to try to get some pictures of this Z up here while you're doing that.
Yeah, for sure. So there are some people that aren't loving it. I don't see that on this model. It's just not great looking, and it goes with the front, the rear, and the sides. I like it. Hopefully Nissan could redesign it. Obviously, I don't think they're going to redesign it right off the bat. Some of my takeaways, the rear, like it kind of goes to your personal preference of style, of course, too. Some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it, and some people are going to be in the middle about it. I think that
the one thing that I didn't like, Danny, and I'm going to put this picture up in just a minute, is the door handles. They look just like the 370, 350Z door handles that you could get now.
Wait, what are you talking about?
I'm going to put a picture up in just a second. The handles to open the door from the inside.
From the inside. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I agree. They did look a little basic.
Yes.
And maybe they just used the old ones on that prototype. Maybe they'll come out with something. But that's something. That's definitely something. I will say the center dash that comes down the center, and then the 3 gauge pods. You see a lot of the 300Z guys. They put that gauge pod right at the three gauges right at the top of the swoop down of the dash where the screen is. That's kind of a design feature that, and those gauge pods are also on the 370, I believe. I'm sure these guys will correct me if I'm wrong, but that's definitely something that super cool look, super cool to integrate that. I'm glad that they're kind of sticking with that same cockpit feel. We didn't get a ton of interior look. We got a short little bit of it.
I'm about to put a picture of that interior up, Danny. So I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, put a picture of that interior up, because that was I'm really impressed with that. I love the big screen, which is nice. It doesn't look like it's too ridiculous where it's almost like a Tesla, and it takes away from some of the design features.
Right.
But hopefully, it doesn't make it look like it's not that cockpit feel, and that's kind of what you want.
Right. I agree with that. They could have went it's got anything anymore has to have a big screen in it, and I don't care if this car is a track car. That's kind of the idea behind it, is a weekend car that you can go have some fun. But people want convenience now, and Supra has done a pretty good job of having a nice size infotainment center in it, and Nissan needed to follow through, and I think they did.
Yeah, and I agree. Monk's Sunglass, sweet name. It's got a little of everything from all the previous Z's, and I agree, it does. I personally like the rear end of the car where it kind of goes like that and it sweeps down just a smidge. That's a nice little body line that they put in there. And then if you look at the rear taillight section, very 300Z, very kind of slim wraparound, but then the lights themselves are 240, 260. But then the line underneath the taillights, very 300Z. But then it has the splitter in the back. I think it's called a splitter. That kind of switches things up and actually gives it that real sports car feel. Some people say they don't like it. I think it looks really good. I do also like the kind of the blackout feel of the whole cockpit area. How
there you
they
go,
ran
Danny.
that.
I've got some pictures up now, guys. If
There you
obviously
go.
they can see this interior, and I'll go through this a little bit. And this is live, guys. So I'm my editing is live. But Danny. So you were just talking about the rear light. So I'm gonna make this a lot bigger for everybody. You're not gonna see me for a minute, guys, or see us for a minute, but just go ahead, Danny. And what were you saying about the inside of it?
The inside. Let me see here.
Sorry. So once again, guys, I apologize for how rough this is at the moment, but all right. So there, I've got the rear of this car up, guys. Obviously, you see there's a dual. You see the dual exhaust. The lights themselves are very, like Danny was saying, very 300Z. I love like you were saying earlier, Danny, the Fair Lady, the way they put that on the rear hatch there is very nice.
Yeah, that's sweet. I mean, hopefully that makes it to the production. But I think it's pretty sweet.
The one thing like I said earlier, I don't like is how I think the very top of the roof needs to be black, but I think the yellow needed to go down the hatch a little bit. I think the way they have it right now gives it that very 240 SX kind of that 180 kind of look that the hatchback had, including the way that the taillights and everything are all included, which isn't a bad thing because 240s, guys, here in the United States, you look for if you could find a mint 240, that is a rare bird now. So so Danny, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah. So there's that chrome or silver line right along the.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not sure what the idea is. I'm guessing maybe it's to match the chrome gutter rail or whatever that they had.
I think it plays on
design aspect.
Yeah. It plays to the heritage.
So maybe that's what it is. I think it doesn't fit very well in the whole color scheme. Look at
the splitters around the exhaust, Danny. That's all carbon fiber, by the way.
Super nice. I think it's for sure this car is going to be smashed with carbon reinforced plastics that they just came out with. They just did that big press release. So that's going to be really rad. It's going to be super strong carbon fiber reinforced plastic, or plastic reinforced carbon fiber.
Mm-hmm.
One way, whatever they do it, it's impregnated plastic. But I think that's going to make some really good. They'll be able to make some really strong parts out of that stuff, and I think it'll be able to lighten this car up quite a bit.
Right.
So maybe it'll start smashing some Supras.
Well, because this
and
car
we can have a good.
They need to lose about 200 to 300 pounds on this car, definitely.
I agree. The car got really fat in its old age,
and it
started at the 300.
The Supra's kind of a pig, but it's still pretty fast. So for Nissan they need to make this a light car. Now it's carbon. You start adding that carbon, Danny, and you're talking this car starts at 50, 60.
What do you mean 50, 60?
Price wise.
Oh. Well, I mean, according to their design or their new breakthrough to where they can make it real quick, I don't think it's going to push the price. I think they're taking a technology that normally would go into a car that's very pricey.
Mm-hmm.
They take that tech, they can produce it so quick. It's cost effective, so they can put it in a car like this without raising the cost a ton. And they can maybe they can replace metal parts for less cost or the same cost, and lighten the car up. And I think that'll be I think it'll be a big game changer for this car. I'm really hoping that that's going to work its way into their production of this car and the engineering of this car.
I think so. And a lot of people are commenting about that chrome, that they do not like that either. And I don't think you're going to, some of this is just for show to make things look flashy. Sometimes they put chrome like that because they want you to pay attention to a certain area. And that's only to get journalists and everybody to write about that. And then it goes away in production. So I don't I don't think the chrome will stay there, Dan. But you know what I do like? Under the door there, look how they've that sharp angle where it bleeds into carbon fiber. You know, that is very, very aggressive, man.
The sides. Are you talking about like the side skirt area?
Yeah.
The side skirt area has a beautiful line. I love that line. And I think that's I think the side view of the car is the best. For sure.
I do too.
I like the back end. It's not the best look of the car per se. I think the side shot gives it everything that you need to know.
Right.
I think the front and the back are kind of like little added cool. But the side shot is the one that you just go, oh, that thing's beautiful.
Right. And let's go to the front of this thing, guys. And once again, this is live me editing here. So, all right, so the front of this thing, Danny, so the grill was kind of two different grills. There was like the traditional 280 grill at the very top under the Nissan Burger. And then like you were saying during the stream, underneath it is opened up for they need some cooling down there. And why do they need such a large cooling area, Dan?
Yes. Like I said in the live stream, Dave, can you make it bigger?
Yeah.
Sorry. Like I said in the live stream, that's just for a minute while we talk about it. As I said in the live stream, I think that the reason that has a big old snorker grill, and I'm sure we'll probably see a little bit more venting in the front on that front bumper. I bet you that they'll engineer in some type of, whether it's brake vent or brake cooling or something else. So it looks super rectangular, but when we saw some of the side shots while they were talking to the guys, I was looking at it from the side. It is kind of like a very convex shape, very wraparound. So it may not look quite like that in person. I mean, I think there's going to be some things on this car that you see it in person, you go, oh, okay,
right,
that looks a lot better. The grille does look a little, I think it needs a little bit of work. And I'm sure Z1 Performance will do some cool stuff the second they get their hands on this, as well as Nismo. I think those guys worked pretty well together. So I think there's going to be some cool stuff for this thing popping out immediately the second it hits the floor.
And companies like Z1, man, they've been itching for this. And of course, sometimes companies like that get a heads up of what the design, future holds. But I will say this. I know for a fact within some of my sources at Nissan that when this Z came, you all remember the Club Sport, the orange Z that was doing all the car shows a few years ago. They had a 3-liter twin turbo in that thing with a 6-speed manual, and Nissan Japan was furious about that car, guys, because this has been on the planning stages for quite a while, and everybody keeps asking us what will the motor be in this thing, and I think all day long, Danny, they want that big opening in that front end for some big cooling for those big turbos that are about to be in this car.
All right, Dave. So what do you think is going to be the Nismo version for motor?
Ooh, that's a good question, man. I'm still trying to break this.
You think it's 3.0 with big turbos? With a big turbo option?
Nissan's sort of known to be slightly cheap, so they do like to reuse things, and obviously you let Infinity tech bleed down, and you let the people that want to pay for that tech pay for it, and then the average Joe like me and you get to buy these cars with that tech proven. So I think I forget, somebody was mentioning the Infinity's 2-liter turbo they use. I can see them doing 2 motor options with this thing. Because Supra, the BMW Supra right now is doing that this year that came out with a 4-cylinder. And so you get a 2.0 and a 3.0.
Kind of have your entry level, so like people that want it real bad, but they can't quite afford the big power one. Yeah. But
Nissan owns this market, guys. Don't let all that super hype fool you. The Z, this Nissan, if they have one card up their sleeve, they know that you guys love the Z. Like, they know it, and they know that you don't see a ton of Supras floating out there. Guess what? Toyota couldn't sell, even though what was it, the 2JZ or whatever, their straight 6 that everybody wants in that last Supra. They know, like, they couldn't continue to make that car. Guess who kept making Zs? You guys, if out of Nissan, their ace in the hole right now is the Z.
They're still not making Zs.
Right.
Or they're still not making Supra. Somebody
right.
Somebody else is making that.
And nothing against it. That's a great car. I've sat in that car. I was at the Chicago Auto Show with that car. It's a good car.
It's cool design. Yeah, it's cool design. It's a good car.
Right. Let's get into.
I mean, if BMW makes it, it's good.
Right. Let's get into this. I'm going to bring this one up. The inside of this car, Danny. Let's.
Yeah, pull up the inside. Let's have a quick chat about that.
Yep. Because this is where you do your time in one of these cars, right? So here is your inside of that Z, and it's a better picture. For one, I love the stitching of these seats. Much like Aria, when I was saying during this live stream that Aria, a lot of that translated into production. You know,
right.
this yellow stitching and stuff is going to translate into that.
Also,
now,
Dave, if you look at them, they have some, you kind of barely see it, but you see some really solid bolsters on that seat, which I really, really like to see. There's a cup holder, which is not a throwback to the 300Z.
Yes.
But I love all the gauges. It's got 3 up top, 3 down below. It looks like it has a really nice center, gauge cluster straight in front of you. So I like gauges. I'm a nerd for gauges.
Of course.
Well, if you have a car with lots of gauges, you feel more connected, and I'm sure they're all programmable. You can put whatever you want wherever. Is my guess how it's going to be, but
right.
Super cool in that aspect.
I'm trying to zoom in the best I can to this, guys. Thank you all 456 of you that have been staying around for this. So the picture's starting to deteriorate just a little bit. All right, so Danny, like you were saying, those 3-pod gauges, very Z. Z's always kind of had those. Your Z doesn't. The 300 doesn't have the kind of pods, but everything else sort of has carried along with that.
Yeah,
obviously
the next to the shifter on the left and the right, there's those kind of. It kind of bleeds the top dash down to the bottom. That's kind of similar to the current Zs, and then it goes back to my Z, the 90s 300Z. That center console is very kind of it's good. It like I said, it gives it that cockpit feel, and I dig that.
In the center. Look at the center gauge, guys. Does that look like a boost?
Oh, are we getting deep? I feel like there's a boost right to the left of the speedometer or of the tack.
The 3 pods.
I think that's boost.
No, but the 3 pods themselves. One of those looks like a boost.
There's for sure boost. There's gonna be boost. You don't have that many gauges and you don't have boost. What are we gonna? It's boost, exhaust gas temperature, oil pressure.
Right.
That's all you really.
Right. Of course. But that center, man. Oh my God. That's what I've wanted out of a sports car forever. Everybody gets fancy with their tacks. Lamborghini has a really nice center digital tack. But everybody's sort of, even Toyota with their cars, like they kind of want to give you a manual on the left-hand side and then sort of digital. This car needs to be completely digital, just like that, man. This is, we live in the 21st century or whatever. I don't even know because I'm so excited about Z's, but we live in a time when those panels aren't that expensive anymore. And could you imagine now so everybody, we all love tuning our cars, right? What if you could tune that dash to read how you want the things you wanted it to read up there? What if they have? Well, yeah, I'm sorry, Danny. What if they already have where there's a track mode and it's a lot like these other cars with Lamborghini and stuff?
That's what I'm really hoping, that because those dash, at least the bottom 3 gauges look digital. All the stuff straight in front of you is all digital. Just from the picture, it shows the main gauge, from what I can tell, looks like an RPM gauge. It does not look like a speedo. So maybe you have speed right in the middle, and the main thing is a tack. But that tells me that there's a good possibility you're going to be able to switch up what you want to see, and you can really personalize what you want to see on those gauges. The ones that are right in front of the stick, and then the ones right in your dash. It's not a hard thing for them to do as far as programming it up. It's just change your options. You see that a lot in quite a few other different vehicles. So I'm almost positive that that's how it's going to be. So you set up all your own gauges just how you like it.
Right.
And hopefully maybe there's going to be track modes where you can do 0 to 60s, quarter miles,
look at all the
rating and stuff.
Wheel. Look on the steering wheel, dude. There's enough joysticks there that you're going to be able to monkey with this.
Yeah, I definitely think that it would behoove them to put a lot of that technology into it. So that, you can take this out and have a track day, and you can log your laps. You can see how much G-force you got, you know, how much RPM you hit or whatever it is, you know,
Right.
top speeds and all that fun stuff.
Well, you know what's really cool about this car too is there's not a lot of platinum looking chrome or anything in this car. I get so burnt out on platinum is the unfinished aluminum, brushed aluminum, whatever look. Sorry, I'm trying to get us a special guest here. I like that it's blacked out, and it allows you to focus on those gauges where it's not, you know, like in the Titan, man, they had too much chrome in there, and it would blind you in the eyes, and the sun hits it right. This black finish isn't going to glare. This is a race car.
Yeah, somebody said, is this going to be a Corvette killer? It's going to have to do some serious stuff to be a Corvette.
Yeah, this is.
I
not
mean,
playing in
they used to try with. I mean, the TT, the '90s TT came out, and it was right up there. It was kind of the vet killer, but we're not quite in that range yet. But you know what? If they come out with a 400 and 500 horsepower car, and it has those brakes, and if they balance this thing really well, it can definitely do some of God's work on the track. Yeah. That's for damn sure.
and hey guys, let's not act like the Corvette is kind of a pig in itself too, even though that new C8 is pretty awesome. This car doesn't play in that field. It's a smaller. It's supposed to be a smaller car, you know. The Corvette is a bigger, full size track car.
Yeah, there's the Corvette has kind of changed to a, you know, wannabe supercar kind of. I mean, you know, it's playing up in the GTR range now with the horsepower and, you know, and what it does and price range. I mean, the top of the.
Sorry, this thing's about to play in that GTR price range too.
Yeah, I mean, my guess is this thing's going to be 45 to 70.
I think
that's my guess as far as price.
I can see that. Well, they always do a cheap base that you can never buy.
Yeah, we'll call it 40 or 39.99. Well, I don't even think it'll be in the 30s. I think it'll be like 40, starting at 42 or whatever, you know. And the one you really want is going to be up in the high 50s.
Right. I agree with that, man. And now once again. Oh wait, special guest coming in, guys. Daniel
who do
Spencer
we got?
From Z1.
Yeah, Daniel.
What, dude? So, for one, thank you for taking out your busy Z1 time to just chat with us for a minute. And guys, you like this car? Guess what? You're gonna want to modify it. So you're gonna go hang out with our buddy at Z1 here. So Spencer, what did you think of Nissan's release on this thing?
I think it's a pretty good launch for a prototype.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I think that's a couple of key takeaways is to remember that it is a prototype.
Right.
I heard you guys on earlier. I was watching their live feed, and then it kicked me to you, which was awesome.
Nice.
Saw a big view count. I thought it was great, and but I saw you comment on the door handles and stuff, and I think there's probably a lot of little bits that they're reusing right now. But that stuff will probably get revised for the most part.
Oh, of course. Yeah, and they got to put something there. And I still like those door handles, don't get me wrong. They focused on it on the intro when the guy gets out of the car. They just sort of focused on that. But did you notice that the air vents are right in mixed with those door handles?
Yeah, very similar to what the current 370 door handle is. But that's, like I said, I think that's really likely to change. I think that if you kind of take away of how well they integrated, they used the factory part there. Looks like maybe console lid, center of the seat. You know, there's a few things that are definitely probably 370 right now that I expect will definitely change. If you think back to the 350Z prototype, do you remember that one, the orange one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the kind of bubbly looking thing.
Yeah, so that was a long way from a production level, and if you compared this on the timeline of where you're going to end up compared to what that was and where they ended up, I would say very positive line. You know, I think we're in for a real treat, honestly. You know, I don't know. I'm a Z enthusiast and a car guy in general. I mean, I'm actually really looking forward to it. There's traits of the car that I think resonate with probably an older client base than myself even, and I like the retro stuff, how they've tried to blend it. But I think in production it'll actually come out even better. Right.
I think under the headlights, you're going to get some fog lights there. They're going to break that big plastic front end up a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I mean, they've probably got plans over you know, if they roll it out in a year, you know, they've probably got at least a 5-year plan or something on it where they'll have updates to come. So we'll see revisions, iterations, and they probably have most of that somewhat thought out, you know.
Right. Well, Danny brought this point up, and I was really curious about that big opening. Just bleeds itself to some turbo cooling, right? Dan, do you got anything to add to that?
No, it's just I think that's one of the biggest things is one I wanted to know, you know, if he was kind of under the same impression that there's going to be some big intercooler cooling aspects there, and then what is his favorite part of the car?
Well, so I don't know if you heard that or not, Spencer, but Danny wants to know your favorite part of the car, and do you think that they've got plans for some big intercoolers in this thing?
I don't know yet. I hadn't gotten quite that far. Our whole team has kind of been entrenched on this, and I think there's more to come info wise. I know that they're going to be really dedicated on development. They're accelerating a lot of things on that front for us anyways.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I would assume from what I gathered, it looks to me like they're probably doing air to water heat exchange like they do on the Qs.
Okay.
And yeah, it'd be interesting to see where it goes. You know, I was wondering if they were going to show it with air to water or if they were going to show it with air to air, you know, as a Z thing. I didn't know. I was very curious about that. And who knows, still could make changes.
Well, how disappointed are you think all the Z fanboys are that they didn't tell the name of it?
Oh, I don't know. I guess that didn't even really occur to me. I liked that they've gone with the fender logo for Z the quarter.
Yeah, kind of throwback.
Yeah.
Rather than on the fender. I do like that. I like that as more of a throwback. There had been hint before, all these numbers of Z's at 400 or blah, blah, blah. They had also referenced at one point that they may just call it Z. I'd be cool with that. I don't know what they're going to choose.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that too.
It's about the drive and the experience than anything else.
Oh,
So,
of course. What are one of the things that you've seen that you were like, oh man, that you were kind of just disappointed in?
I don't know. I mean, to be completely honest, and I'm certainly fair to say that I'm a critical person on it. You know,
right.
I don't know that there's anything that it's a prototype. You know,
right?
I think there's a little more finish and fit that'll come.
I tried to tell everybody before this to don't get your expectations that you were seeing the final version of this car. To base this as a prototype.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the thing. I think a lot of folks are probably missing that point currently. And
Dave, ask him about the brakes. I know they weighed in on the brakes when that came out.
We've kind of been hinted at details of the car for a while. It'll be interesting to see what a Nismo version looks like.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, what advantages it has. Would love to know the curb weight.
Yes.
Me. That's my biggest question is what's the curb weight?
Would you think that they started talking about all this carbon fiber, the way they could do it cheaply, and then the car comes out maybe 2 weeks later? Do you think this is going to get some of that carbon work?
Well, I mean, they've been using carbon fiber reinforced plastic since the 350.
Right.
And the whole core support, since 04, has been that kind of composite formed material. And I know they did the big launch the other day, but I think they were really trying to stress about, carbon reinforced materials. But their big thing was how they were doing carbon reinforced steel.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell in the pitch if that was mostly focused for EV. I felt like maybe that was the bulk of the talk. But everything trickles down with tech. And, I think Z would see tech ahead of Ultima or
oh God, yes.
Sentra or something like that. Who knows? I mean, maybe those guys see it too because they impact fleet economy and tax rates and all that. But
you mean you don't want to see a Nismo Sentra that's fully carbon, with a 200 horsepower engine? Come on, man.
Hey, man, I said I'm a car guy. I'd be into it. I mean, I'm cool with that.
Brakes, Dave, brakes.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you asked me to hot lap a Quest, I'd probably try and squeeze everything I could get out of it.
What about a 2011 Nissan Juke? Could you hot lap one of those?
Probably.
Here we go.
I think we should try that at Windrock.
Yes, we'll do that when I see you next week at Windrock. Well, so as an aftermarket, clearly your market is Z guys. So your Z1 is very interested in where this car was going and stuff. And I know for you guys that some of the stuff maybe carryover is actually a plus for the community, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's no doubt for us from a strategy standpoint that we're heavily invested in the Q. Historically, we knew Infiniti usually it's engine tech earlier than Z. That's something we've seen over the years, and I mean, we're absolutely committed to the Q community, but we knew that what we would do to develop and find limits and safe options on performance upgrades, whether it's tuning or bolt-on parts, that there would be a very strong chance that it would lead, to Z as well. And certainly we're excited to see that, yes, it's likely that is the case.
Well, there's a couple people posting in our chat that Car and Driver is just posted that it will be a 3-liter twin turbo 6-speed manual Z. I think that's a little immature of them to say, because I know Nissan for a fact has not told anybody about what motor will be in this car.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that I've seen all this posts and everything too, and I actually missed the bit of launch. Was in the garage prepping for events.
Nice.
I'm up to ZCon in a couple days myself, so I think it's likely that's what it is. I think I don't think seeing a drastic change in it. I'd be happy to see something. I've mentioned before. I mean, like, man, if they would provide a 4-cylinder with decent output and less weight, I would be all about it. But I'm a weird person on that. I think the American market in general wants a lot of power, and cars are heavier than they used to be, so they need it. And more torque on it to be even competitive. But I like lightweight cars. That's just me.
Well, one final question for you, Spencer. If Nissan were to opt for 2 motor options, 4-cylinder wise, where do you think horsepower wise that motor would be, and where do you think maybe a V6? Just we're guessing here.
Yeah.
So people would know, okay, the 4-cylinder probably is going to get me 300 horsepower. The 6 is going to hit me 4. You think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's likely that if they do a 3, I think it's very likely you see a standard model that, like Infiniti's line, is somewhere around the 300-ish power range, and a Nismo that would be somewhat like the Red Sport at 400. I think that's probably likely. Mm-hmm. I could be off a bit, but I think that's probably likely, something along those lines.
Right. Well, Spencer, man, I appreciate you being on here, and guys, we've had Spencer on the live chats before, and if you haven't yet, go to Z1. Z1 is the place for all things Z, and we're not paid to endorse Z1. We just like dealing with Spencer and the guys over there, and they've always dealt us very friendly and nice, and where some of these places just want your money, like, I don't ever feel that way with Z1, man. So, Spencer, I appreciate you being on here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, David. You guys have a great one. I'm enjoying the show, so I'll keep watching.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, see you, man.
All right, guys, that was Spencer with Z1 Motorsports, and we've told you we are very connected to the community, whether you know it or not. And me and Danny are big truck guys, but that doesn't mean we don't like Danny. Tell them about the time that you took your Xterra to the California Speedway.
Yeah, I got a Xterra desert race truck, basically, that was just about starting getting built. And we went over to, what was it, NISFest, and we took that thing on the road course. It was all stripped out, and yeah, we were beating some Z's out there in the road course, and some off-road tires.
Yeah, it was funny.
I think it was my driving skill. I don't think it was a truck per se, but that thing was a beast.
Oh no!
But I mean, you know what, Dave? We both have Nissan cars as well. I mean, I just actually ordered a bunch of stuff from Spencer, short shifter, and a bunch of trans fluid and stuff like that for my Z. So. I am definitely a car and truck guy, and I think since you got a cute little Juke as well, you can claim that as well.
Well, come on, guys. Like, if you're new to the channel, I bought a Juke this year for the channel. I'm gonna own it 1 year, basically. I wanted to see what I could cheaply do to that car, and I have a little series on it that we've been doing on here. And I was gonna do a Z, but everybody does Z's, man. From Adam LZ to all these guys, they do Z's. And I just wanted to prove that Nissan makes something cool, and the Juke is a turbo, Danny, and like it's a fun little car. But like Danny was saying earlier, if you're new to us, like, we've been all over the country just adventuring, Danny. Like if it's
Nissan we've been
based,
on a couple trips with Nissan. Nissan sent us out on some adventures with the brand new Titan.
Yep.
I've been racing Nissans through the desert. I actually just got back from racing a Nissan truck out in El Paso, Texas. I've raced in Vegas. I actually have my own Xterra race truck that's getting finished up in the next couple
And
months.
where can they see your truck at, Danny?
If you're curious, if you want to see all my adventures and my race trucks and the Nissan Z and stuff like that, I also have a YouTube channel called DaGrootX. That's DaGrootX.
Right behind Danny there.
Right there. So I do a lot of build stuff, tuning up my pre-runner truck and doing fat burnouts. I just did a super fun video of doing big burnouts in my
Nice.
Frontier, just hooning it up. So
Oh, that's a great video. That is a great video.
yeah, that was a fun one. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, and then I got a bunch of parts for my Z that I'm going to be putting in, so they'll be dropping that on either
Danny,
this channel or mine or whatever. So
Danny, what year is your Z?
I have a 1990 2+2. It's not a twin turbo, but it has 80,000 miles and it's crystal clean, like a brand new car basically. With a Journey CD stuck in the CD player when I bought it, and it hasn't come out yet, so it's pretty awesome.
And Danny's dad got in this car and ripped it, man.
Yeah, I got a little video of my dad, like right after I bought it. My dad just dropping clutch on the thing.
And your dad's pretty old, right? Like it was kind of
he's in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, he's in the 70s, but it was fun. So
nice, but so I've owned many Nissans, like we said earlier, G35s, which is, you know, we might as well say it's like a 2+2Z. Obviously Titans, Xteras, you name it. Me and Danny's owned it over the years. Hard bodies. And so I want to say thank you to everybody who's jumped in here, Danny. Thank you, Andrew, for that super chat. Let's see. Can't wait to share my thoughts.
Sleepwalker.
Go for the night. Thank you for joining in. The super chats help us a ton. And once again, too, also, if you like all things automotive, me and Danny has started a new channel called All Terrain Nation. If you go over there and smash that subscribe button. Right now, we've been talking a lot of Bronco, and Bronco guys don't like when you nitpick the new Bronco, Danny. I've learned that this week. But
yeah.
But Danny, so as we wrap and wind this thing down,
real quick, Dave, quick.
Sorry.
Phantom Rider says at 11:38 seconds into the live stream, Nissan says it's a V6 twin turbo.
Okay.
That's big news. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I guess we missed it. We were probably just freaking out and drooling over all of it driving around. But good shout out, Phantom Rider. Appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
We'll go back and check that. That's a big deal. You know, we've been talking about that, so that's going to be a big deal. Obviously, that points towards that V6 twin turbo, that 3-liter that we've seen in the
which has not been
Infiniti.
A secret. Let's not act like...
it's not a secret that motor's not. You know, everybody assumes that, but we can always speculate.
All right, Danny. So let's take we asked this. We were talking before the stream when we were talking together. I think it's going to be a 300Z.
Yeah, and I think it's a 400Z.
And you think it's a
but
400.
I think Spencer's very close to the fact that it might just be a Z.
I don't know, man. I need a number with that Z. Like we all call them Z's, yes. So they could just naturally go, well, it's a Z.
Yeah.
But something and honestly, I think you could go and start calling it a Fairlady Z, and I don't think there'd ever be a problem with that.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, Joe Taylor confirmed
maybe just
that.
call
Thank
it
you, Joe Taylor.
Fairlady Z. Yeah.
Well,
so that's cool, man. I love the nation.
Yes.
Thanks for keeping us honest and making sure we're as smart as you guys.
Well, and that's the thing too that you'll get with us. Me and Danny do not know everything. I will, if you ask a question, if I don't know it, I will go out of my way to find, either contact my sources within Nissan, or we'll find out if we can. I do not ever mind being called out on something. Like, we're not.
Yeah, please let us know when we get it wrong. Just don't be a dick about it. I'll say I'm wrong all day, and most of the time I'm talking out of my ass. So just let me know when I'm wrong so that I can admit it.
Phantom Rider says 400Zs.
Well, Joe Taylor said 400Z, and then Phantom Rider said, so since Joe Taylor said 400, it's going to be 400. So see, everybody agrees with me. Nobody likes you, Dave.
Zachary says that he truly helped to design the new 2021Z. Not joking. Zachary, hit us up.
If that's true, Zachary, freaking awesome, dude. Maybe. What's up? Let's chat about it.
Yeah, let's privately chat about that. Danny, my takeaway from this car is I think this is, for the period that we're in the world right now, I think this was about as good as they could do. I liked how they trailed the car in to the area. I thought that was really well done. I think the car needs a spoiler on the back. It needs something. It needs just that tail.
Yeah,
needs a little
I
something.
fully agree on the spoiler. It's similar to my 300. There's something that I just The second, and just a very light, maybe just like a body line sweep up kind of a thing.
Right.
I'm sure they'll be after. Well, you know what? That's the best thing about the Z. There's the second it pops out, Z1 will be working with companies to make something that'll probably look super rad.
Joe Taylor says, Dave, thoughts on how the live stream went overall? And that's what I'm talking about, Joe. I think they did it for Nissan. This was a home run. I don't think the recent releases of all these cars and trucks, I think Bronco right now, the way they did Bronco and didn't do a question and answer, they just showed it kicking ass. Now this is a prototype car. They can't just show it out on the track ripping and roaring because it's not ready to be there. Bronco, I still think their release has been number one, but I would say right now this is the hype behind this car. It's probably the second best release globally this year. Once again, as soon as me and Danny can get near one of these cars, we will do it.
I'm gonna be rubbing on it with all kinds of body parts. I can guarantee you that. I really like this car, and I think the production version is gonna be a little bit sleeker, a little bit better,
Right.
And I cannot wait for Nissan to invite me to the first ride and drive event with Dave.
Yep.
That'd be great.
Yes, and what with the Titan Adventures? Maybe they'll do a Z Adventures, Danny.
Z Adventures,
Yeah.
and I'll show up just all wet and slathered up,
If
oiled up.
and if Nissan, if you do need somebody to drive this car across country, just and document some silly guys doing it, we're your people.
Yeah,
Guys,
buddy.
we will over the next couple of days. We'll drop some videos on this car, just some more well thought out thoughts, if it were. I overall, Danny, 1 through 10, what do you give this car?
I say I'd give this car a solid 8.
Solid 8. I'm going to give this
Solid
car
8.
I'm going to give this car I'm going to say 8.5, man. I think
yeah.
it like Spencer said, there's a couple things that probably shouldn't have been in this car, just minor details, but other than that, I think the car is, from the tail, gives you that 90s vibe, but yet the front of it does give you that 70s 80s vibe. And as long as they don't come out with remember the commercial when they did the anniversary Z, the 10th anniversary or whatever, it was all gold and black, and the dude with that big thick mustache in the aviators. As long as they don't do that, I think we're good. I would have liked to seen some graphics on this card a little bit, something on that hood, maybe like the Heritage Edition, something like that. But overall,
I just wish it had a little bit better paint color to show us the body lines a little bit.
I would have liked a canary,
or a way that they could have done that.
A canary yellow.
Well, Dave's got color
Well,
problems.
Somebody asked.
With that being said,
somebody asked in the chat, Danny. They were like, "Dave, you have to love this color." Because guys, if you're new to this, I love neon colors. So.
Dave is like an 80s.
Look at
child
Danny's
to the
hat.
max.
Guess who designed that hat?
Like I don't get a choice. I just get a hat that shows up, and I'm like, oh, neon. Sweet.
Oh, anyways, guys. So last questions. We'll get anything you've got in here real quick, and we'll try to answer it. If not, Danny, this has been awesome, man.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic
on here tonight. I appreciate it. Joe Taylor says it's a 9.9 to 10. Let's see. Phantom says an 8. 626 says a 6. Okay, one last
John
question.
Walsh is 9.
One last question, Nation. Supra, BMW Supra, or Nissan Z? What you see right now? I'm going Nissan, man, because I know Nissan put their heart and soul in this car. They didn't go buy this car from somebody and just sort of modify it.
And the Supras, I mean, I don't know.
I'm not
I was talking about
dogging
how I wanted something svelte and small and whatever. Supra seems a little too small now that I'm looking at the Z. Like I like a little bit of curviness to my girl. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right?
And who doesn't want samurai sword car, dude? It's literally it's a fucking samurai sword, dude. Samurai car, dude.
That's right, man. Go ahead, Danny. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I was just gonna say samurai again somehow. It's a samurai car, dude. It is samurai light.
Guys, once again, thank you so much. Nissan Nation Productions on the web. We used to be known as the Nissan Nation Podcast. If you're still into podcasting and want to hear the audio version of me and Danny, go for it. We're still stream there every once in a while. Here, obviously, Nissan Nation Productions. Thank you to everybody who's liked and subscribed to this video. It means a lot to us. It really does, that the community's shown us some support. Once again, me and Danny do not know everything. Call us out, but be nice about it, like Danny said. go over to All Terrain Nation. If you like all things pickup truck, SUV, and whatever we can drive, that's for our channel over there. We're on our goal to hit 1,000 subs over there. So if you could help us out, we'd appreciate that. And Danny, dude, thank you for hanging in. I know on California time zone, this was a little early for you to get to do this, but I think
I'm gonna eat some dinner.
I know Danny's parched. So guys, from all things Nissan here in Middle Tennessee to way over in that LA area where all the fire and debris, and our hearts go out to anybody who's lost any kind of homes or anything in that Oregon, California area. Danny, what are we?
Out!
We are out, guys. Join us each week. We've got more to come.